So, diving back into our Jason Nash's Most Toxic Relationship series, like we said before, this was the last video that Trisha was on his channel, which was saying yes to my girlfriend for 24 hours challenge. So, we're going to revisit the breakup now because now the breakup has happened. So, we're going to take a look at the actual breakup video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this relationship in general. Now that the series is pretty much kind of over because we've done all the videos of Trisha on Jason's channel. Now, the last video she was in, like I said, was saying yes to my girlfriend, and this was actually posted on January 29 of 2019. Now, this is important because Jason always had Trisha in the description of his videos, like subscribe to Trisha's channel. Now, he still had it from this video to one, two, three more videos. But here, where he says we dared her to do this in public, hidden camera, this is where he finally took Trisha's link out of his bio and then never had it in again. So this is like the official break. I know that's like a weird little detail to point out, but I think it shows that like this is when he started to completely detach, not just not have her on his channel, but now she was no longer even in the description. And let's see the date of that video. So February 14. So now we're going to dive into the actual video where she and he both sat together in front of the camera and talked about the video that she had made. I'm not going to play the video, but I might play parts of it. Basically, the video was after this, after saying yes to my girlfriend, which was Jason and Trisha spending the entire day together, where Jason just bought her everything she wanted and said yes to everything she wanted. They had a really good time. They were finally getting along in their relationship. They weren't they weren't really fighting in that video. They actually got along really well. There was no issue. She was actually like getting along with him great. And then apparently sometime after this video, Jason and David were doing a vlog and David made a Tana joke. Now, Trisha didn't like the Tana joke, and she apparently, according to her, contacted David and contacted Jason and said that she wasn't okay with the joke. So apparently, the same day that she contacted Jason and said she wasn't okay with the joke, he kind of brushed her aside, like, we'll talk about it later, and she decided to just make a video on the spot because she was so mad. Now, in this video, she said that the jokes were too far and that Jason and David didn't care, and then she went on to expose their friend, Brandon Calvio. Now, the two things I'm going to mention off the bat is that she portrayed this joke, this Tana joke, as being way too far and something that ruined the relationship and something she didn't appreciate and something that was disrespectful. But throughout the Jason series, we've showed time and time again that Trisha made nonstop jokes, and not even jokes, but just confessions about how she wanted to sleep with David, sleep with Zane, sleep with Heath, how they were so attractive, how she wished she was with them instead, like over and over again. Like if you compare the Tana jokes to those jokes, there were maybe 3 or 4 Tana jokes. There were double digit, like 50, 60 jokes about how she wanted to sleep with David and how attractive David was. And she made them all the time unprovoked. She would even just say, I wish I was with David instead. I would rather be with David. Things of that nature. So it never really made sense to me why the Tana joke bothered her so much when she was making similar jokes herself. And it definitely wasn't the age thing, because she even said that the reason why the Tana thing upset her is because she was insecure and she just didn't want Jason to like Tana. It had nothing to do with her being grossed out that Tana was so much younger, because David was also so much younger than Trisha, and she constantly spoke about sleeping with him. David was a decade younger than Trisha. He was like 20, 21. She was like 30, 31 when she was talking about wanting to sleep with him. On top of that, she has also spoken many times about wanting to sleep with way younger people, some who weren't even 18 yet. And as far as the Brandon Calvillo thing goes, I completely agree that Brandon is disgusting, beyond disgusting, for dating a literal teenager, like someone who wasn't even 18 yet. That's disgusting. I think all of them, including Trisha, were in the wrong for just overlooking that, because Trisha did overlook it. Trisha threw Jason a birthday party. We've showed this on the Jason Nash series, where she threw Jason a birthday party and invited Brandon and this not 18-year-old girl to come to the party, and not only come to the party, but personally be in their personal limo with them, and then had them both sitting at Jason's birthday dinner right next to them at the very front of the table. As you can see, there was absolutely no issue that Trisha had with Brandon and the girl being together or being around her. She tried to claim that she always refused to film with him. She didn't want him anywhere near her. Yet you see her in the limo sitting next to them where they're sitting cozy together. And then you see her having them sit at the very front of the table near her and Jason for Jason's birthday. Keep in mind, she's the one who threw Jason this birthday. This is the birthday party she threw him. She was in charge of the entire thing. And she set up the whole entire thing. She decided who rode in the limo with them. She decided who sat with them at dinner. So Trisha was not against this relationship. She was there plenty of times when the girl was there. She invited them to Jason's birthday. She spoke to the girl. She was in the limo talking to her. She was at the birthday with her. She very much knew that this girl was around. So for her to say, oh, and then Brandon was dating this girl, but she knew about this girl the entire time. And Trisha tends to do this thing where she'll know something that's wrong and she'll just sit on it, sit on it, sit on it until the people that are doing the wrong, she's mad at them, and then she'll be like, oh, and also they did this, even though she enabled it the whole time, even though she herself was okay with it the whole time. During the series throughout it, she talked about how she loved Brandon, and this was while he was with the girl, by the way, you guys. How she loved Brandon. She thought of him as her son. She thought he was the best. She really liked Brandon. The only time that she started to not like Brandon was when they broke up a few times, and then Brandon would tell Jason, this is really toxic. You shouldn't be in this relationship. That's the only time and only issue she had with Brandon. She had no issue with the girl. She never had a problem with this relationship. And I need to stress that, because the fact that she portrayed it as if she did is a lie. She was there the entire time the relationship was happening, and she was okay with it. She never refused to be near Brandon. She said at one point that, oh, I refuse to film with Brandon, I refuse to be near him. That's not true. Throughout the entire series, as we've shown, she was completely fine with Brandon. She invited him places, she gassed him up, she complimented him, and she hung around him and the girl who was not 18. She hung around them and was completely fine with them.
Shoot me a dream, better wake up and apologize. That's me.
You two just connected on another level.
Oh, I know. Love Brandon so much.
Oh.
I'm obsessed.
But I know that was supposed to be her burning bridge moment to throw everyone else under the bus, but she was literally under the bus with them. But let's start this video now and get into why they broke up, what they say, and the fact that they actually stuck together for a little bit after. And we'll get into that. So, this was Jason's version of damage control. What he was trying to do here, which he admitted, was Trisha had made the exposed video, and Jason wasn't ready to end the relationship yet. So he got back with Trisha, and he decided to not only try to save him and his friend group, but save face with her, like save her to his fans by being like, no, we like Trisha, we're with Trisha, it's fine, everything's fine. So this was Trisha and Jason coming together to show the internet that they were going to be okay and that they were going to get back together. Now, I think this is important because if Trisha truly cared about what she said, where she said, and they were hanging out with Brandon and his girlfriend who wasn't 18, well, if that's true, why did you do this video with him? Why did you get back with him and do this video? And not only get back with him and do this video, but continue to secretly date Jason for what, like a month or two afterwards? So she didn't care that much about the grown man being with the minor. She didn't care that much because she was still dealing with him and still dealing with the relationship. And in fact, the story here is that Jason's manager actually said that he should not be with Trisha, tried to advise him against doing this video and being with Trisha. And Jason told David, I'm going to do this video with Trisha. Like, I'm not breaking up with Trisha yet, or, ever at this point. And David said, go ahead, you two. Don't listen to anyone. You two post the video. I support you. That's what David said. So at this point, after Trisha's exposed video, David and Jason both still wanted to be in Trisha's life and still wanted to keep Trisha. And Trisha still wanted to be with them. I think that's important to note because the way that she presents this nowadays is I made this video and then they just completely abandoned me and ditched me because I exposed them as the bad people they were. But that's not true. They did this video directly after her exposed video. Now, let's get into it.
Hi guys, I hope you're well. It's a good start.
That's a good start.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that happened the last few days.
Now, you could tell already that, okay, she seems very upset. He seems like he's trying to keep the mood light and try to be like, you guys, it's not a big deal. Everything's fine. Like, we're back together. But here's the thing. Look at where they're at. They're at Trisha's house. So, again, Trisha clearly didn't have that big of an issue with Jason being Brandon's friend or anything Jason did because she has this man in her home sitting next to her about to do a video together to show the internet that they're still going to try to work things out. They're still okay.
And rest assured, we have been dealing with those things here off camera. And Trisha and I have been working on what happened. And first off, I want to say that I take full responsibility for hurting Trisha's feelings,
And you see right away he says we're working on things. So even after that video, they're still going to try to repair the relationship. And in my opinion, she seems more upset not about Brandon, not about the joke really. I think right here she seems more upset about the fact that she did the video and now they're in this position where they have to like climb out from underneath it because in her mind, because she said this before, if he had just replied her when she said, I want to talk about this, I'm mad about the joke, they would have still been together. That video would have never been posted. So if he would have just handled her reaction better, she would have never done the exposed video. And doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about the way she actually felt about the Brandon situation? Because why would you only do the video if you didn't get the reaction you wanted? Why would you not have exposed them the moment that you knew that Brandon was dating a girl who was not 18 yet? Why would you not expose and say, this is wrong. I refuse to film with you guys. I refuse to be engaged with you guys. I won't ever do a video with you guys again, and I won't be in this relationship. She didn't do that. She didn't say that. She was completely fine with it. Again, the only time she called it out was when it was like an afterthought. If you go watch her initial exposed video, she's talking about David and Jason's joke, which, not Jason's joke, David's joke that Jason was laughing at. And then after a couple minutes, she goes, oh, and Brandon did this. Like, it wasn't even her main point. It wasn't even her being like, I'm leaving the vlog squad and the relationship and this is why. It was just an afterthought that she tacked on.
Or some of the things that were in David's vlog and some of the jokes that were made. And yeah, they were jokes that shouldn't have been made. There were jokes that shouldn't have gotten in the vlog. There was some older footage that got in the vlog that was me trying things, trying to be funny. And
You guys, I also think, and I think this needs to be said, I also think that I can completely understand why Jason would have initially not cared about her being upset by the joke because, like he's going to say in this video, and like he's said several times before, every day she made jokes about wanting to sleep with his best friend. Every day. Like every vlog you see of them that we've posted and done the series, she's talking about how she wants to sleep with David. So it seems hypocritical and unfair that he would have to cater to this joke that he wanted to be with Tana when she was making the same joke about David the entire time, but worse. So of course he'd be like, this isn't a big deal. Like, who cares? I'm not going to cater to this. And if it were me personally, I'd be frustrated that I would have to apologize for making for laughing at a joke when she was making a joke the whole time.
How do you feel about Jason wanting to have a 3-2?
But why me, Jason? You could do better.
Because he likes broken girls.
Wait.
Is that true or true?
Yeah, it's true. Actually, you should check him out. Huh? That wasn't an option.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it was. If he was already
drunk, excuse me.
if he was already broken up with Liza, it would have been an option.
Trisha.
The blog squad. Who would you cheat on Jason with?
David.
David? You would
It's
pick
getting
David?
really weird between her and
Please.
David.
Why?
Gross.
He's like a cute little bunny.
Okay.
It really upsets me.
You would lay down with David.
Lay down?
No, I don't want to
Lay
hear
down with
it.
anybody. You would spend a night with David.
Yeah, when I was single, yes.
What's your least favorite part about hanging out with me?
The sexual tension for sure.
Dude, I'm so uncomfortable.
You're in my bedroom.
Because, why? Don't make it sound weird. Trisha, you make me feel so uncomfortable.
Stop talking about David.
He hates when I talk about vlog squad members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care.
Weird to David while I'm inside.
I'll try not to suck his.
Yeah, don't suck his dick.
Wouldn't that be so funny though? Like actually, if I
No,
tried?
it wouldn't be funny.
I would be shattered.
I'll just come inside with you. Bye, Jason.
So David.
No. You said you'd have sex with me.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah, she's back on that.
Trisha, you can't say you're gonna have sex with Jason's friends.
Why? Can I just say though, like honestly, that's goals. Like I would love to be in a polyamorous relationship with David.
You're so gross. You're so in love with David. And
So are you?
You look so hot in that black hat, David.
He has been looking good lately. What?
Like, personally, that would just upset me. Because, like, imagine you essentially getting in trouble for something that the person who's mad at you is always doing.
I've been down this road before in the summer. I made a joke about our weight that really got to Trisha, and yeah, like I stopped making those jokes.
This word.
Okay, and this is another hypocritical thing. He's apologizing for making a joke where he said we're both fat, but she herself throughout the entire relationship and throughout the series that we've shown you guys constantly made jokes saying, we're so fat, Jason, we're so fat, we're so fat. And in fact, she would just call him fat on his own. Like, she'd be like, your belly's so big. Like, you're so fat right now. She would do this throughout the relationship. So him one time saying we're both fat, getting the reaction it did when she constantly made those jokes before and after that event just seems hypocritical and quite frankly frustrating to me.
You called me overweight in your video twice, guys. Go watch it.
I called you fat. Maybe it was all that pasta you had at lunch. Jokes that I had asked them to stop making before I made anything. I was like, please stop making these jokes. I'm not comfortable with them. I've asked that multiple times.
Yeah.
There's a vlog of literally me taking my clothes off because I'm so annoyed.
Yeah, and I think that the problem.
Yes, she did say that she didn't like the jokes. That's fair. But again, you guys, she also was told by Jason, please stop saying that you want to sleep with David. Please stop saying that you want to sleep with all of my friends and that you're so attracted to them and that you want to be with them. She never stopped. So how is it fair for her to be this emotional and this upset that he was laughing at a joke that David kept making when she herself was making jokes that Jason also did not like, that were also way too far and inappropriate and boundary crossing?
Jess got good abs.
Oh my God. Are we gonna start this?
When we were out at the Cheesecake Factory, you were like talking about how cute David is, and you were drunk, and I was steaming.
You were not.
I was.
You get jealous of me saying that about David.
Of course I do.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
It's going like this. Wow, you worked out?
Are you serious?
It's not weird. You have to make muscle.
No, she was looking at me. She was like, "Wow, do you work out?"
But looks alone, I give you an 8.
That's still really good.
8.5 maybe. Now that you're
That's
working out.
Hitting
You're
on
just
him.
saying that 'cause
God
you're in a good
damn
mood.
it. We already talked about this.
You just turned into like a dad.
Look gross. Oh wait,
You
that's,
look cute.
that's without the glasses. Trisha, you can't hit on me.
How is it fair to act this torn up when you're doing the same thing? I think it's important to show that she was happily doing those same things. He asked her to stop and she never stopped.
Problem was that like the joke was initiated by David. Like, I know not to bring that up, but where I was wrong was I went along with it, and knowing that it hurt Trisha, And what I should have done is just stopped the joke and like, let's cut, let's not do this.
And I made inappropriate jokes too, but I stopped months ago because people were like, well, Trisha says the same thing, and I did. And
That's not true. Again, you guys, she didn't stop months ago. Throughout this entire series, not months ago where she just suddenly stopped making the jokes. She made them the entire time. The entire time. And she made several of them and she went deep into detail about them. So her saying, and I did the same thing, but I stopped. That's not true. She never stopped. Ever. In fact, there are moments where he asks her to stop on the spot and she defends it and keeps on going.
Can I just say though, like honestly, that's goals. Like I would love to be in a polyamorous relationship with David.
You're so gross. You're so in love with David. And
So are you?
You look so hot in that black hat, David.
He has been looking good lately. What?
I think early on in our relationship, like, I didn't really care. Like, those jokes didn't bother me because I didn't care as much about Jason as I do now. So, like, it didn't bother me, but it, like, bothered me a lot, like, because it felt more like a real relationship. That was it.
Yeah. And I think that in general, like the vlogs that we all make, they're very like kind of ball busting jokes in there, and we make those jokes and they're funny.
Which, for the record, I do think all the other jokes about me have been funny. A lot of people are like, oh.
You know, and she says this too. She says, for the record, I think all the jokes about me are funny, but she does not stick with this narrative because when she goes on frenemies, she actually says, oh, and they would make jokes about me being promiscuous, and then everyone on the streets would just like call me names. Like, none of that happened. Trisha has vlogged her whole entire life, and every time she's shown a fan interaction of the vlog squad with her, like of the vlog squad fans with her, they're all praising Trisha. They're all telling her how funny she is. Even after the breakup, they were like, Trisha, we love you. They've never come at her in the way that she's trying to say that they do. She said, every time I'd be on the street, the vlog squad fans would be yelling at me these like insults that never happened, ever. In fact, she's even said multiple times, you guys, I've never had a bad fan interaction. No one's ever come at me. Only people are mean to me on the internet. Never in life has anyone ever come at me. So she can't even keep her story straight.
I know a lot of people dislike me online, and like in real life, I've really never had like a hater in real life ever. No one's ever been nasty to me. Nothing.
A lot of people are like, oh, he's so misogynistic to Trisha a lot. And like most of the time I think it's funny. And I verbally said, this is the only joke I don't like. And like all the other ones I don't care. Like I think it's funny, and I got like almost think it's flattering when people are like, oh my god, you hooked up with so many people. Like I'm like, I don't think that's like a bad thing. I was okay with those jokes. I just said like this one is not funny just because of like it doesn't matter why, but I just like,
and I think what's hard too is like Trisha.
So again, the reason why those jokes didn't bother her, like she said, is because she kind of felt validated when people were like, oh, she slept with so many people, because like she's talked before about how she feels like she gets her value from being desired. So the fact that people were like, oh, she's been with so many people, it just shows that so many people wanted her, like in her mind. But I do think it's interesting that she goes, you know, this joke, it wasn't okay because then she goes, well, it doesn't even matter. I think she says that because personally she doesn't know why it's not okay. Because, like I said, she herself was making the same kind of jokes, if not worse. And she knows that Jason wasn't making these jokes. David was making them, and Jason was just like awkwardly laughing at them.
She's like the funniest person I know, and like she's so usually like, yeah, whatever you want to say, and that's what makes her great. So then when she does draw a line, I think we're like, oh, well, that's not what we thought, because you never asked to take anything out. You're always like, yeah, use it, it's fine. So what happened was we did a music video.
I think what Jason's saying here, I do think that people should stop when people say it, but I think that's for both things. If she wanted them to stop, they should have stopped. And I also think that when they asked her to stop doing things, even David himself was like, Trisha, can you stop hitting on me? You're making me really uncomfortable. And she would never stop. So if we're going to say that people need to stop doing things, I agree, but they all need to stop doing it. But I will say, I think what he's trying to say here is, you know, you're so good with everything that when you say, oh, don't do that, we don't take it that seriously, because she allows so much. But I do think on their end, they should have squashed the joke. But I can see why they kept it going, or David kept it going, when again, Trisha made jokes like this constantly. If you're in an atmosphere where someone makes you feel like it's okay to make jokes because they themselves are making it, but then you make a similar one and you get in trouble, that's kind of shocking.
Video on Thursday and Friday, and we got up at like 5 a.m. on Thursday, and it was a really great concept that Trisha has that hopefully you'll get to see. Are you gonna put it out? Okay, and it's really great. And so we got home. I got home Thursday, and like I went out with David to film that night. We went to went to UCLA. We couldn't get into any parties, whatever, normal stuff. I go around with David. I try to help him with jokes, or maybe appear in a joke or whatever, appear in a bit.
So you can tell Jason's clearly nervous here. He's like going into the depths of detail of like what time he woke up, what happened, everything. And also, he seems to be catering to Trisha's mood a little bit, like by him saying like, she had a great concept. We were going to do something so special. Are you still going to do it? And then she's like, oh, I don't know right now. I think she does end up posting it. I believe it was, I could be wrong. I believe it was the video they did together where she's like parodying like a bunch of famous romance movies, like the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Margot Robbie and stuff like that. I know it's not a romance movie, but it was like a romance moment that she includes. Also, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, stuff like that. But anyways, you can tell here that Jason is trying to take the lead and try to rectify the situation by both explaining himself and letting the audience know that they're trying to work together. And even though Trisha's not saying much, you guys, the fact that she has him in her house, is sitting next to him, this is clear that this was a pre-planned decision to show the internet that they were going to try to work things out and be together. So again, her exposing the Vlog Squad and saying like, and Brandon was dating that minor, like clearly she didn't care that much if she had Jason back on her couch telling the internet that they were going to try to work on it.
And then as we were driving home, we were all ready to go. I'm like, let's go home. He was like, yeah, let's go home. And then Zane called, and there was like one more party to hit, and I was like, I don't really want to go to the party. And Tana was there.
So this seems to track with Jason's overall mood because he would always say like, I didn't really like to go out with them. It wasn't my thing. And every time he had the opportunity, he would choose to hang out with Trisha instead of them when they went out at those nights because he just always said he was like too old for it and he didn't really like it and he always felt awkward. So this tracks with like, oh, I didn't really want to go, but I ended up going. So I don't think he's lying here.
At the party. Like, okay, whatever. That's great. Tana's great. And Dave was like, let's shoot with Tana really quick before we go. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. So I just got in the back seat. I switched seats. I got in the back. I was sitting in the front. Tana went in the front seat. And the first thing out of David's mouth was, why don't you have a three-way with Trisha and Jason like that? And I was like, oh, God. I'm like, no. I'm like, not this again. And then he made the joke, well, because Jason likes broken girls. And then he swung over to me in the back. And again, this is the same thing that I did in the summer, which was like trying to go for the joke. I mean, I can do two things there. I can make a joke, or I can go, no, stop this.
Okay, I will say here too, you guys, and that clip didn't include it because Jason doesn't even contribute to the joke. What happens in that scene is David makes the joke about Tana, and then David says, Jason, like, because I think Tana says, Jason, like, why would Jason even want me? Or something like that. And then David says, because Jason likes broken girls. And then he swings the camera to Jason. And then all Jason does is like nod. He just says like, he just like nods like, yeah, it's true. In fact, he looks uncomfortable. He looks extremely uncomfortable. So it's not like he was being like, ha ha ha, this joke is so funny. Sleep with me, Tana. You could tell he was in an uncomfortable position, but he didn't want to be like a stickler and ruin the, quote unquote joke. So he just like nodded and like went with it, but he wasn't like actively engaged in it.
How do you feel about Jason wanting to have a threesome with you?
But why me, Jason? You could really do better.
Because he likes broken girls.
Wait.
Is that true or true?
Yes.
So I think he himself doesn't even remember that because he's kind of acting like, well, I could have denied it or I could have contributed to it. He kind of did like a mixture of like both. he kind of just was like, yeah, like that. At this point, I think Jason was genuinely scared of Trisha and like upsetting her and doing things that would make her mad, because she even said that he would tell female fans, "Oh, I can't like I can't really like take pictures with you or like do whatever because if Trisha sees it, she's gonna get mad." So does that sound like a man who's gonna like happily go joke about a Tana joke that he knows she doesn't like when he's already turning down fans and saying, "Oh, I can't do this because Trisha's not gonna like it," which Trisha was proud of the fact that he was turning down fans, by the way.
And I guess my need to be funny, or my desire to like make a piece of content that was funny, you know, I chose that over Trisha's feelings.
Earlier in the week,
Yeah.
I was in your bathroom crying over this bit that was not funny the first time that week.
I know.
And stuff I'd asked you guys repeatedly, and it's like it wasn't funny the first time, and I was so upset. So like the fact that you did that again, it's like it just didn't. It's just like, and just I've called both of them before I made the video, just seeing if there was any sort of.
And I completely agree that if she says that like it was so upsetting and she didn't like it, they should have stopped. But for me personally, I feel like it's hard to sympathize with her when I've just spent the whole time contributing to a series where I saw her repeatedly make the same type of jokes, if not worse, every day. And every time Jason told her, "Stop saying you want to sleep with my best friend, like, please stop," she would not stop. So it's very hard to see how she could be so hurt and destroyed by a very thing that she herself was doing very often and laughing about. I like can't compute. That doesn't compute in my head.
God, I won't say it.
What? You just what? You got turned on by David? Say it.
David has a big butt. I've never noticed how big his butt is.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Stop talking about David's.
He hates when I talk about vlog squad members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't care.
Weird to David while I'm inside.
I'll try not to suck it.
Yeah, don't suck it.
Wouldn't that be so funny though? Like actually, if I
No,
tried?
it wouldn't be funny.
That would be shatter.
Said you'd have me.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah, she's back on that.
Trisha, you can't say you're gonna have Jason's friends.
Why?
Remorse or regret, or like I'll take down the video or something. It was just like won't happen again, even though I've asked multiple times. It happened twice in 1 week. And you guys inviting her over, trying to make it happen again. It's just like
I did it.
And yes, I get that part too. It happening twice in 1 week, and also the fact that, yeah, I'm sure that I believe her here. I do believe that that David probably was like, "Let's go shoot with Tana," knowing that he was going to make the joke, because that was like his go-to joke whenever he saw Tana. So I do agree that that would be really annoying and upsetting. But again, for her to make the same kind of jokes, and not even jokes, like David himself plenty of times said, "Trisha, please stop hitting on me. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it," because she was overly actual with him. I don't think it's fair that only they would have to stop and she wouldn't. That doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't invite her over.
But you knew. You said he pulled you in a private room and told you that, oh, we're gonna invite her over. Why wouldn't you be like, no?
No, he said that in front of you. He had pulled me in a private room to see if he could use that piece of footage, and I was like, anyways, what happened?
No.
I did say no. So, and just really like so anyways, I guess in my mind I was like, well, I'm not making the joke, David's making the joke, and that's between, Trisha and David, and that was wrong of me. And so Friday I went to sleep, and I.
That is wrong, I will say. He should just, if he knows that she doesn't like the joke, just like completely remove yourself. But again, he himself wasn't actively making the joke. He would laugh, or like, I remember one of the times where she talks about where she took her clothes off in retaliation is David made the joke, and Jason kept saying no, no, no. And then Jason, like, last second was like, well, maybe, or something like that. And she got mad. But you could tell Jason was just trying to, like, play into it a little bit. But this last time, like, this whole big blow up, he wasn't even playing into it. He literally didn't say anything other than when they panned the camera to him, and he just acknowledged that it was true that he liked broken girls. Which, yes, is creepy and strange, in my opinion.
I meant to call David and say, do not put that Tana joke in. And, David's really good about, if someone says don't put something in, he does not put it in.
Except when it comes to me, because I've asked him multiple times.
Right, and because I think in his mind, he's like,
But
Trisha, I know he wasn't.
I've gotten really pissed.
Yeah,
not in a joking way.
I know, and he gets it now. And yeah, he he shouldn't have put it in. He just didn't. He thought that it was okay, and it wasn't. And so we're super sorry, and like that's why.
I also don't know how true this is about him not taking things out for her, because I'm pretty sure in our series there was one occasion where she didn't want him to include something and he didn't include it. And I also know for a fact that throughout the series, David would try to side with her over Jason, and David would he would get really uncomfortable when they fought, and oftentimes would not even include it in his own vlogs, and oftentimes tried to get them to stop fighting. So I do believe that David did instigate a lot and did try to cause trouble, but I also feel like she's not being completely honest here about exactly what kind of friend David was. But I also am aware that she's in the moment. She's mad about what he just did, so that's all that matters right now.
Then those videos were taken down, and yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry, and you know that I've apologized a million times in the last 3 days, right?
No, I know.
And
Also, I want to say this again. She said before, like, I called them to see if they would be remorseful or take down the video or do something, and they didn't, so I made the video. That, again, to me, shows that she did not really care about the Brandon and Minor thing, because if she did, it would take more than just an apology. Like, why are we just saying, like, oh, I wouldn't have even made the video and exposed that if you guys would have just said sorry to me? Like, that seems weird to me. Like, you care more about getting an apology than this actual moral stance that you have. Like, you'd still be okay with the Brandon thing as long as they said sorry to you. That seems off to me.
so then, Trisha called me at 7 a.m. on Saturday, and I was like, whoa, I was super tired, and from the last 2 days, and I was like, what? And I was groggy, and I should have, I don't know, I didn't do what I should have done. As far as...
So Jason is essentially saying she called him in the morning. He was tired, so he wasn't really taking it seriously because he was tired. So he probably was like, I'll deal with this later. But he didn't know that if he didn't deal with it in that moment, she was going to do what she did. So I think that's why he says I should have handled it better. Like, if I would have known what she was going to do, I probably would have catered to her more and done it. But you guys, I find that to be a very strange relationship to, like, have to do something, because if you don't, you're under the threat of being exposed by your girlfriend, who doesn't even really care about what she's exposing you for. Because if she did care about exposing you for being friends with this person who was doing something bad, why did she just want an apology and then said she wouldn't have done it? Why is she sitting in this video right now? This means that she didn't care about the Brandon thing.
As the first Tana clip, that was shot months ago, and it was just like something, I was trying, and yeah, I mean, and Trisha had told me, like, no more jokes about that, and I was like, okay, cool, no more.
I wasn't even there when he made that joke.
You were.
No, I wasn't. In the bedroom, I was not there.
You were in the bedroom. You were in the house.
So I remember this joke, and I will try to include footage if I can find it. This is actually true. Jason's version is true. So what happened was they were all at David's house. Trisha and Jason were at David's house, and David said that we should invite Tana over. And in fact, David made the joke to Trisha and said, Trisha, do you love me? Would you do anything for me? And then he goes, would you do this with Tana? Like, the Jason, Trisha, Tana. And then Trisha just says, well, she's not even in town. And then they decide to call her and see if she is in town. And then they invite her over. And then Trisha fell asleep. So she was in the house, but she just, like, wasn't present.
Trisha, can you help me with my video? You would do anything for me?
I do anything for you.
Can you and Jason have a threesome with Tana?
I think she's in Australia.
We're down to Tana's house, and Jonah thinks she's at...
Where are you?
I just got off a plane at LAX. How'd you know?
Holy oh my god. Can you please come over?
Okay.
Hi,
So they're both, like, right in a way.
And like, that's what we do. We say things all the time. Like, Trisha, the other day, Trisha and David were saying, David was saying, like, oh, Jason's your bitch. and Trisha said, yeah, he's my. That's what I said. And it was fine.
What was that?
It was just like a joke the other day. Like I'm bringing it up that like, you know, yeah, like that hurt my feelings too. But it's like that's like the culture that we're in, and
Now, this is what I mean too. He's pointing out like she makes plenty of jokes at my expense that I just have to roll with, but when it comes to her, I can't make the same kind of jokes. That's basically what he's saying, and it's true. She's made fat jokes against him. She's made old jokes against him. She's made jokes about how she wants to sleep with multiple of his friends, not just one, multiple of them. She will actually make jokes about how his friends are better than him, look better than him. It was no holds barred with her. She went in. Looks like you're pregnant when you stick your belly out like that.
And then his little hands, like, look at his little hands.
It's not a good thing to...
Stubby. They look like he bites his hands. That's why you didn't make a bad stand.
Oh.
That's why you weren't a finalist in Last Comic Standing.
Oh, really?
Anytime I ask Jason, come on,
Sorry.
Last Comic Standing, he gets so embarrassed. No, don't watch it. I want to find it just to see how terrible it was.
Oh my God.
And so the fact that Jason's like, well, this is like the environment we were in, it makes complete sense why it's like, well, why can't they make a joke that she herself is making on multiple occasions, and when she herself is not stopping herself from making any joke at his expense?
and like yeah, I mean, like there's just, I mean, and I say horrible things to David, and so does Trisha. You've said horrible things. We both have.
But when someone says, I'm not comfortable with this joke, which I told you both months ago, that's the issue. It's like, I told you. I said any other.
Again, you guys, this is hypocritical because she herself has been told by both Jason and David, please stop making the joke about wanting to sleep with David. David himself said, Trisha, I'm very uncomfortable with this joke. Please stop. She would not stop and continue to do it throughout the entire relationship. So for her to say, well, it's not about that. It's about someone telling you that they're uncomfortable and you keep going. That's the issue. If that's the issue, why was it okay when she did it? And if it's so important for you to stop when someone tells you to stop, then how come when she was attacking 16-year-old Charlie D'Amelio, Charlie cried on TikTok and said, Trisha, please stop, leave me alone. And Trisha's response was, I can say whatever I want about you, Charlie. You're a celebrity. Even though Trisha was 30 years old and Charlie was only 16, she said, I don't have to stop. I don't care if it's making you uncomfortable. You're a celebrity, deal with it. So if she cares this much about how comfort is the main thing here and that you should stop when someone's uncomfortable, then she has an obligation to stop when people tell her to stop too.
I'm just gonna say, Trisha Paytas, like, this is not, sorry, just, you have been completely rude to me multiple times, saying she doesn't have a personality, she can't dance, she's basic. Like, you have your own problems, please stop worrying about mine. And that's all I have to say on that. Quite honestly, I just, like, please stop talking about me. You're not a very nice person.
And then Charlie D'Amelio, like, people who are just, like, actually so innocent, like, get canceled for eating a snail. And, like, I was on that bandwagon trying to cancel this little 16-year-old.
Joke you want to make about me?
I know.
Put it in.
And I wasn't making the joke, but I should have defended you. You know what I mean? Like
Anyways, I mean, it's
I
like,
get it now, and I'm sure you want to say some stuff too. So I've been talking a lot, but.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Again, you guys, I just don't understand how she's being victimized here and she's victimizing herself when she's just as guilty. I can't understand this vibe that she's giving. Like, she's just been, like, completely put through the ringer and is devastated and has had the worst thing happen to her when she's done it constantly, like I've shown in this video. It doesn't make sense why it's only okay for her to laugh and make people uncomfortable and do whatever she wants, but no one else can do it back to her. This is the same problem she had with Ethan Klein. She can do anything to everyone else, but they cannot do it to her.
Literally didn't hear that. Like, what'd you say?
I said maybe you want to say some stuff too because I've been talking the whole time.
I mean, I guess I just obviously regret making, like, the video as a whole because like, I mean, I always do. I just thought, like, I gave David and Jason both a chance to show, like, a little bit of, like, sympathy as they do.
Okay, again, you guys, she regrets making the video, which again, if she genuinely cared about the Brandon situation, she would not regret the fact that she exposed it. But like she's saying, she said, I gave them a chance to stop me. If they would have just told me that they cared more and apologized, I wouldn't have done it. Saying that she would have hid this for Brandon if they would have just apologized to her. She would have continued to enable it and support it like she always did. I think that's the biggest issue here that a lot of people overlook is the fact that her stands like to pretend like she cared so much that she outed them for like the bad people they were. Does this look like someone who cared that much and was outing them?
With all their other friends or guy friends and not me. Like, I don't get any sympathy. If some things happen in the friend group, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so worried about this person. But me, I was in very much distress. I group chatted both of them. I individually texted both of them. I talked with Jason. I left voice memos for David.
Okay, again, this is not true. David, plenty of times when Trisha was upset, catered to her, like David specifically, catered to her, wanted to make her feel better, took her side many times against Jason, and in fact would tell Jason, no, Trisha's in the right, or let's do this to fix the situation. So it's not true that she was never sympathized with. And she's saying here, like, I was devastated, I whatever. I can understand why these two didn't take it that seriously when, again, you guys, she constantly made jokes very similar talking about sleeping with David. So I can see why they wouldn't believe that she was so devastated and torn up about jokes being made toward her when she was making those same jokes.
Stop talking about David.
He hates when I talk about vlog side members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't care.
Trisha, you can't say you're gonna have Jason's friends.
Why?
He was like, he was literally, he
In fact, she even made a joke about sleeping with Zayn and Jason at the same time, which is also a joke very similar in vein to the Tana one.
Go slap.
Would you ever want to have the three of us?
The three of us?
Yeah.
Gross.
Why is that gross?
Because it's gross.
Why? Because I'm gross? I wouldn't touch you. I would just, she would be in between us.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
Wait, no, you wouldn't want. All right, I mean that's
I'm
up to
down
you
for
guys.
everything always.
Notice the difference between how Jason reacts to those kind of jokes versus how Trisha reacts to them. So when David makes some about Tana and Jason barely reacts. When it was offered to Trisha eagerly said she would do it with Zayn and didn't understand why Jason was so grossed out by it.
got on a plane right before, so that by the time he landed,
No, he
You
told
had
me he
posted
wasn't
the
even on the
video.
plane yet. He wasn't even on the
Okay,
plane yet when I
okay,
got the hotel.
okay.
And he's just like, Natalie and I were editing. She said it was okay, so sorry, won't happen again. That was his like reply, and I was like, okay, I'm in like
I mean,
utter
that
distress.
was a text. I mean, you
Right.
don't say it like that.
Okay.
It wasn't. He
I'm
wasn't.
reading the
Okay. Again, she's talking about being in utter distress for a joke that she herself has made several times. No, she didn't make the Tiana joke, but she has made jokes several times about wanting to sleep with all of his friends and a lot of times just hitting on them. So I don't believe how she could be in utter distress for things that she herself did. Now, here with Jason, I do believe he's trying to cape for David a little bit too hard by being like, well, you don't know if he was on the plane. You don't know if, like, blah, blah, blah. I do think he should just let her speak and he should back up. He doesn't have to defend, like, every single little thing David does. But I understand he's trying to tell her, like, no, it isn't what you're thinking. Like, he was literally probably just busy on the plane. Like, he's trying to not downplay what David did, but he's trying to be like, no, it's not that he doesn't care about you. It's just that he had other things going on.
text.
You read it as flippant, but it wasn't necessarily flippant.
Okay, so even if he was genuine about it, oh, me and Natalie were editing, like, sorry, it won't happen again. Like, for such a distressful thing that was literally ruining me, like, I was on the edge, obviously, in that video. Like, I'm on the edge at this point.
Also, for David to actually say, sorry, it won't happen again, that actually is an apology. Sure, it might be a flippant one. It might be him not taking it that seriously. But it's not like he just was like, LOL, whatever. It's good. It's all good. We're still going to continue to make it. She's saying that he said, sorry, it won't happen again. That is him saying, it won't happen again, and I'm sorry. But she wanted them both to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take the video down right now. I never meant to do that. Like, she wanted that. She wasn't happy with his apology. She wanted a better apology. She wanted the video taken down.
Because Jason didn't care, obviously. Like, I was like, how can you do this? Even that Tuesday, there was no sorry. I was bawling in his like bathroom floor, and there was like no sorry or anything.
But you agreed to let us use that clip.
I didn't. I said whatever, because he said no, 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 and then they kept pressuring, pushing, and pushing, and I was like whatever, because at that point it's 2 a.m. and I'm just like, if you guys need to use that joke that bad, knowing that it hurts me, like it just, I was so annoyed, and I tried to keep it together stupidly for the freaking music video that I spent all.
Yeah, so it was the music video that I talked about where they were kind of like parodying romance. That's what he was trying to say. Like, will you still release it? And she said, I don't know. But you guys, again, I understand the position that David and Jason are coming from when you're in a scenario where this woman is making similar jokes constantly, never stops, even when you guys say stop, 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 stop. She doesn't stop. They both told her very seriously to stop, and she never did. So I can see why they both didn't take it that seriously and were like, well, we all make jokes we don't like. Like, we all do this to each other. This is just our thing. Like, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's hypocritical to get so upset about them for not stopping when you yourself won't stop.
I'm talking about David.
He hates when I talk about vlog side members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
Yeah.
All this money on, and I just was like, I really want to make this music video work, and then we had plans. Today's our anniversary, so I was like, okay, we're gonna make it through this, and then we're gonna make it through Valentine's Day. And to be honest, even after that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reevaluate things, because it really was weighing on me ever since Tuesday. So then to see it all happen Thursday after everything, I was like, he said, I remember him telling Jason, like, I'll just like let this go, I'll drop it. And then to see it all again, I was like, when you don't say anything, people just keep letting it happen. And it took me making this crazy video for him to delete his 2 videos that hurt me so much.
Now, again, too, she refers to it as a crazy video, but is it a crazy video? If she truly cared about what she outed in that video, which was Brandon and the minor, why would she be like, and I did this crazy video? Wouldn't it have been a good video that you should have done if you truly cared about exposing it and putting a stop to it? But that's not her main goal here, and it never was. It was a tacked on weapon, because that's what it was. It was a weapon to try to take them down. And now that Jason, like, she realizes Jason doesn't want to leave her, Jason still wants her, she realizes, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that blow up weapon, because now he still wants to be with me. Now I can't really take that back. Because it makes Trisha look bad too, to stay with someone who she herself was saying was enabling that kind of pred behavior. And I also find it weird that she's like, you know, it was our anniversary and Valentine's, and I was just thinking, like, we have to get through this. What kind of relationship are you in where you have to think, like, we have to get through this and this and this? Like, we have to at least make it to this event. Like, that's a strange mentality to have. And it means your relationship is pretty unstable if you have to keep thinking, like, well, we just have to get to here. Like, we just have to make it to this day.
I think a normal person, if someone's like, hey, can you delete the video? Jason asked me to delete the video, and I was so just like angry because no one else was like showing any remorse, and I was like,
again, you guys, I find it hard to be sympathetic here when she did the same thing to Charlie D'Amelio. When Charlie said, Trisha, can you please stop? And Charlie at 16 years old, Trisha's 30 here crying. Charlie was 16 crying saying, please stop. Trisha refused and kept making videos and kept talking about her and kept trying to come at her. So are we really going to feel sympathy for a 30-year-old woman who wanted a joke that she was making constantly to stop, and we're not going to care when she attacks a 16-year-old who asks her to stop and is crying? That doesn't make sense. We can't sympathize with her and then not Charlie. And I don't know how her stands do it.
I'm like, I'll delete it if he deletes it, and that's why the videos were taken down.
But I mean,
also, notice that too. She said, I will delete the exposed video if you guys delete that video. So again, it was never about exposing Brandon's wrong. It was about, I want this to be gone, so I'm going to use this as a weapon. And if you do what I say, I'll take it down and it won't matter anymore. That's the truth. She never cared about the exposed. She didn't care about any of this. That's why I don't understand when her stands try to say, well, she called out them and that's why they left her and she was a hero. None of that happened. She tried to say the same narrative on front of me. She said, yeah, I exposed that friend group for having a guy who was 24 with like a 17-year-old. That's not true. That's not why this whole thing imploded. She didn't care about that, which is why she said, okay, I'll take the video down if you guys do what I say, because she didn't care.
like, you didn't have to make that video. You could have just called David and be like, take it down. take these videos down. I mean, it's just very
I think
drastic.
just an apology would have been good from him. Just being like, I'm like a genuine calling me. I was so upset. I texted him.
See, you guys, she said if he would have just said sorry to me, if David would have just genuinely called me and said sorry, I would have never posted that video. So she said she would have never told the internet that Brandon was with a 17-year-old if David would have just done what she wanted to do. Does that sound like someone who cares about what she exposed? No, it doesn't.
So much.
I mean, he was on a plane.
He wasn't yet. He's like, I'm about to board a plane. And I was like, okay, but I'm like really upset.
You should have waited until he landed and then been like,
I mean, we have an hour. We have an hour of text conversations before he took off. Like, it was an hour. I can show you right now. We texted for about like
if I was in that situation, the situation that you're in, and he had put something in that I didn't want, I would have been like, okay, I would have waited till he landed and been like, you have to take that down. And he would have. You know what I mean?
It wasn't about that. It was about none of you having any remorse. You didn't say sorry to me. He didn't say sorry. No one had any sort of.
Again, you guys, listen to what she's saying. She's saying it wasn't about anything else except the fact that they weren't sensitive enough to her feelings. If they would have just said sorry to her, if they would have all just called her and said, oh my God, Trisha's so sorry, none of this would have happened. None of it would have been exposed. That's how little she cared about what actually happened with Brandon. That none of it would have even happened if David would have just called her and said sorry.
Sort of like, oh wow, yeah, that was up. Like, it took me doing the video to be like, I'm so sorry.
But
like,
why do you have to ruin everyone's life?
I
Ruin the
didn't.
video?
I did. I ruined everyone's life. I replied to videos out there about me and yours relationship, about you wanting Tana.
But
I
it's
made
not
a reply.
true. I've told you a million times. Like, it's.
Okay, two things here. One, I don't think Jason should be like, well, why are you trying to ruin people's lives? She is, though. That accusation is true. That is what she was doing. But he personally should not be defending the Brandon thing. And I feel like he is because he's too close to Brandon and he wants to defend it. I feel like he's in the wrong for this. That is allowed to be exposed, but the way she exposed it to weaponize it when she didn't really care, that's wrong. She didn't care about it. She wanted to use that information to do exactly what he said, which was ruin people's lives because she was not happy with the scenario. Which, again, you guys, I'm making this crystal clear. I do not agree or condone or support anything Brandon did. I think him being with a 17-year-old was completely wrong, and I don't think Jason, David, or Trisha should have ever been okay with it. But what I'm pointing out here is that she pretended that she cared about it, but actually did not care about it. And I think that's extremely important because she's telling us several times here, I would have never even said anything if you guys just did what I said, which shows that she didn't care.
It's just true.
I started to not know because I wasn't even there for when you and Tana were hanging out, and I wasn't even there. I'm like, maybe this isn't a joke. That he was the fact that he was just trying to make it happen.
So many times, I think it's a joke that he.
So I don't know if I believe Trisha here because, again, she herself tried to make sleeping with David happen. Oftentimes when Jason wasn't even in the video or in the room, she would be hitting on David. If Jason left for a second, she'd be like, David, should we hook up? She even said that with Zane. She's like, Zane, should we hook up? Like, she did this all the time. So why is it like, oh, I don't know if it was real between you and Tana. I don't know. But she was blurring the lines with her and David and her and Zane and her and Heath and her and everyone.
Weird to David while I'm inside.
I'll try not to suck his.
Yeah, don't suck it.
Wouldn't that be so funny though? Like, actually, if I
No,
tried?
it wouldn't be funny.
I would be shattered.
I'll just come inside with you.
Bye, Jason.
I'm so good.
No.
Oh, so I hit on Zane.
Trisha, do you guys just hear that?
What happened? What you do?
No, we weren't dating yet.
What's up?
Well, I swear, no, his camera. David does this thing. It's like when I said tell him we're dating. He does this thing where he just literally has his camera like chilling by him, and he's like looking at his phone, like literally not paying attention. So I literally didn't think he was paying attention. And then Zane had to be like, "Did you guys hear that?" I'm like, "Oh, nope, you weren't paying attention. You didn't get." And then it was, yeah.
He just kept making. Because like that's what what he does. Like
and
he'll say to my mom, like, "Oh, like how many years do you have left?"
The
to
video
live?
was David being a horrible human being because I've asked him repeatedly not to. That was what the video about. It wasn't about like you wanting to have a thrill. It was just about this like joke.
But it was about that. Like you called me a creep in the video. You said all these things that weren't true.
Ooh, okay. She's saying it wasn't even about you. It was about just David not respecting boundaries and continuing to make jokes. And Jason calls her out and he's like, no, but it was about that because you were calling me a creep and stuff. Which is true, you guys, because to this day, She still says he was a creep for it. She still says that was the issue. She doesn't say, oh, it was about David crossing boundaries and crossing lines and not saying sorry. She, on purpose, tries to make it seem like Jason's a pred. This is the issue. Which, if she truly believed that, she would not be in this video right now trying to get back together with him.
Because I was shocked. I was shocked at your reaction.
You said things about my ex-wife. I mean, like, it was too much.
And I told
it was
you
an
that.
overreaction. Or just keep it about me and David.
So, when Jason calls out the fact that she was ruining people's lives, he doesn't seem to address Brandon. Instead, he said things about my ex-wife. So that seems to be his main concern, and I can see why it would be, because Trisha constantly publicly attacked his ex-wife, and her doing a whole exposed video, which would get more exposure and more views, and dragging a woman who had nothing to do with the situation, I can see why that would upset Jason, and why Jason would be like, why are you trying to ruin people's lives, including his ex-wife? Because Trisha always seemed to take jabs at Jason's ex-wife, even though the ex-wife never publicly said anything about her. And Trisha would be pretty petty and go pretty low and say things like, I might even just include them because I probably can find them. She would say, she would like compare herself to the ex-wife and then get mad at Jason and say that his ex-wife was a rough girl, and just like kind of belittle her and be like, I would never get married where she was married. Like, it's so low, it's so dirty, it's so like cheap. Like, she constantly went at her, and then she would cry victim and be like, oh, his wife doesn't like me. I don't know why his wife doesn't like me. But she was making these like public disparaging remarks about the mother of his children. And it looks like she took the opportunity to use the exposed video to do the same thing.
I just want to get married.
I got married before, and it was like, rough.
Yeah, because you married a rough girl.
I've been here.
Say stuff like
No,
that.
I'm not gonna do that. I have children.
How do you think they got made?
I mean, it would be fun if
Ugh,
David wasn't
I just
around.
thought about that and I
Like,
want to puke.
oh, come on. You know what?
Trisha hates your kids because she knows they were conceived by.
Before, when we had
Well, that's why I didn't put it in.
the day before we actually broke up the same day,
You
I was
guys
like,
want to see the fight that I didn't put in? I'll put it in now, so you can see it.
what was it about?
I said you're toxic. Oh, I know what it was.
On camera? I don't remember this.
We were walking by the hotel I got married at, and you were like, I'm not even, well, I wouldn't even miss in that hotel. I was like, okay.
That's a whole other
Like,
topic.
you get so mad. Invited Trisha to come out to dinner with me and my ex-wife, but there was just so much animosity between, the two of them, and there was a lot of vitriol coming from Trisha all the time about her. But don't bring all these other people into it.
The only person I regret talking about besides you and David is your ex-wife. I shouldn't have talked about her, and I don't know her. We've never met, so it's not like I can just say this to her face and go to her or email her. I don't know any of her information.
Okay, again, it is interesting. Two things here. One, Jason says you shouldn't have brought everyone else into it. So he is bringing up Brandon. He is kind of defending him. And Trisha says the only person I regret talking about is not Brandon, it's your wife. Now, I don't really believe Trisha here. I don't believe that she regrets talking about his ex-wife because, like I said before, she has spoken negatively about his ex-wife in many videos. Like several videos. The mother of his children. Knowing that his children likely watch his channel. And she did it in her videos. She did it in his videos. She constantly spoke about their mother. So I don't believe her that she's like, the only thing I regret is talking about the ex-wife. Because if she did, why did she talk about their entire relationship and drag their entire relationship?
I mean, I shouldn't have brought it up. I felt really bad. Obviously, I just that I regret. That's the only other thing I regret. Everything else I don't regret. Because what I said is just a reply to everyone can put videos out about me, but I can't put a video out about anybody and how I feel.
But your willingness to we've been so good the last few months.
I know, and then to see you out and make that joke. I let it go once and it happens again.
I don't even think it's true that they were good for the last few months because, as I said before, we've been doing this series and throughout their videos, they weren't okay. Like maybe the last month of their relationship, they started fighting less, or they started showing they're fighting less. But it's not what Jason believes it was. It wasn't like they were perfectly fine and they were okay when they were getting along. They were still pretty bad.
The joke. It was a joke.
Also, I need to say this too. The way that Trisha frames this is strange to me because he says we've been so good for the past few months. Now, keep in mind that she always was the one instigating the problems and started things, and she seems to be blaming him by being like, "Yeah, we were so good, and then you did this, which made me do this." That seems to be her reaction, and I don't think that you can blame people for the things that you do. You can't say that him laughing at someone's joke was responsible for why she then dragged his ex-wife. Like, you can't say that.
I was
But
in
you
the
didn't decide to
present.
leave knowing that that hurt me so much on Tuesday when you saw Tana. You thought, oh, this is probably a good situation for me to be in at a college party with all these young girls in the car. Like, I know this Trisha up, but let me just do this again.
But don't say it like that. Like when I go out with him, like it's like as if David has a TV show and I'm his producer.
I
Like,
know.
literally. I'm not like that. Like,
I know.
I'm not. I just don't understand how.
And for anyone wondering, like, or thinking, like, oh, see, she's mad because he was around young girls and she thinks that he was into young girls, like, he's a predator, whatever. That's not what she has said before. She said that she gets jealous of young girls because she's not a young girl anymore and she gets jealous of them because she's insecure. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's like, oh my God, Jason hitting on these young girls. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that she feels like she's in competition with the younger woman. This is what she herself has said and implied before. She feels like she's in competition with them and she can't really compete with them. So she gets upset when they're around. Just like she gets upset when any other woman was around him. She even would get upset when his own mother was around him.
You know that I'm not like that.
I just don't understand how you just
But
like.
how can you not give me the benefit of the doubt?
I do, but I'm just saying the blatant disregard of how I felt about it. Like no one seemed to care, and it happened repeatedly. Now it was like the second time it happened. I was like, okay, you guys are gonna put that in. Okay, fine,
But
but
it's
now
not you guys. I didn't put it in.
But you went along with it, the joke.
Would you ever want to have a threesome? The three of us?
The three of us?
Yeah.
Gross.
Why is that gross?
Because it's gross.
Why? Because I'm gross? I wouldn't touch you. I would just, she would be in between us.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
Wait, no, you wouldn't want. All right, I mean that's
I'm
up to
down
you
for
guys.
everything always.
Whatever.
No, knowing that, like, not thinking that it would go to air, not thinking that it would be posted. Like,
You know, David posts all that.
and he's like really good about that. There's so many things that like he won't put in. Like I never in my wildest dreams thought he would put that in, and he messed up. But like David's.
Again, Jason wasn't a big contributing factor of the joke. I'll show it again.
How do you feel about Jason wanting to have a threesome with you?
But why me, Jason? You could have do better.
Because he likes broken girls.
Wait, wait.
Is that true or true?
Yeah, it's true.
All he really does is like nod and laugh. He doesn't really like say anything. So I understand that she's saying like, well, you let him do it, like whatever. But again, she herself, as you guys have seen, has made all those jokes about wanting to sleep with David, about wanting to sleep with Zayn, about wanting to sleep with everyone. I find it hypocritical and hard to sympathize with someone who's going this hard about this when she herself is guilty of it.
He's like a really good person. You love.
I don't know. He literally puts everyone else's like feelings before mine. Like he cuts everyone else out but mine. And even when I text him, he's usually pretty good at like trying to explain himself or something. And it's just like just his blatant disregard for it. I was just like, wow, that's crazy to be like, well, we thought.
So again, two things here. One, Jason says, well, you know what kind of friend David is. Like, he's not like that. You know that. And Trisha's like, I don't know that. I don't know anything like that. Well, that's not true. Like I said before, David time and time again, and even Trisha said that, like, whenever Trisha was, like, not feeling good about Jason and her, or, like, they had a breakup or something, she would go to David, and David would write her, like, long paragraphs trying to console her and sympathize with her and try to help her. He constantly, like I said, took her side all the time. He always considered her. Sure, he's not the best, and he did make jokes that went too far, and he did do stupid things, but to act, like, completely, like, oh, well, I don't know, he doesn't care about me, when she knew the opposite, I don't think is true or fair to say. And another thing here is that she goes like, oh, normally he like grovels to me and he'll like say sorry and he'll try to fix things, which again implies that she does know what kind of person David was. So she's saying, but he was so blatantly disregarding me, and that's the issue. The issue is that they both didn't kiss her butt and say sorry to her, and because of that, she did what she did. So again, it had nothing to do with her wanting to expose the vlog squad and wanting to expose Brandon. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that these two did not kiss her butt. Because they didn't, she had to punish them in some way.
It was okay. I was like, what? I'm telling you how I feel. Like, I just was like shocked by it. And I don't think he's like a monster. I don't think he's like like a serial killer. I was just like, obviously these people, him, I guess I should say just David, I just felt like just didn't care about how I felt. And then you, my own boyfriend, like literally the same thing. You're like, I'm tired, you woke me up, and like, fine, do whatever you want. Like, I'm done with this. You always say that.
Okay. So she goes, oh, obviously I don't think he's like an SK or anything, but she's not only did she say that in the exposed video, but she also said it like afterwards on front of me is in different places. So she says here, like, well, obviously I don't think that, but then that's the narrative that she pushes. And she says, you didn't even care. My own boyfriend, you said you were too tired. He literally just said he like woke up early because of her like freaking out. So it woke him up and he didn't respond properly because he was tired. He probably thought, I can handle this later. I'll deal with this later, not knowing that she was going to like insta post the video and try to take them all down.
And then I thought, well, if this is it, this is it.
Well, when someone calls you, when your girlfriend calls you, you know, and says like, I'm posting a video, it's like, what?
I wasn't saying it in that tone. I said, well, I'm gonna have to make a video response to this. I said exactly that.
Yeah,
and that's not okay, you guys. It's not okay to threaten your partner by saying, I'm gonna publicly humiliate and expose you guys because I'm upset. If you don't do this, I'm gonna do this. Because that's what she was doing. She was saying, if you guys didn't give me the response that I wanted, so now I'm going to publicly hurt you. That's what that was. So Jason saying that and being like, you have no idea what it's like to have like a partner be like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna go post this video. Like, that's scary. That's imagine, let's put this in like a realistic perspective. If you had a boyfriend or girlfriend and you got into a fight with them and then they told you, I'm gonna have to go post something that's gonna embarrass you now on X or Twitter. I'm gonna have to go on Instagram and just publicly bash you and let your friends and family and the whole world see this because you didn't respond the way that I wanted to. And imagine what you've told your partner or like what they know about you. Like anything, could be anything. That would be a scary situation. Like if you don't cater to this person's demands, they're gonna out you, or they're gonna like find something bad to say about you, or they're gonna go make a whole video about you and like try to turn the internet against you. That's not okay. We all know what that is. That's like BM. And I think you guys know what I mean. The second word being male, the first word being a color. It's BM.
You like to be in a relationship where someone threatens that without like being able to talk it out. Like just
you said you did not want to talk to me.
It was 7 a.m. I said we'll talk about it later. Like.
And he's right again. To threaten someone, like, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to punish you if you don't do this or if you don't act the way I want to. I can completely understand why that would creep him out and why that would make him, like, fearful. Like, no matter what he did, no matter anything, you guys, just imagine if you yourself were in a relationship and someone was threatening you, like, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to go try to humiliate you. Because that's what it is. Also, she says, you didn't even want to talk to me. But he's saying, you know, you didn't even give us a chance to talk it out. All I said was, I'm tired. I'll talk to you later. And because he didn't talk to her in her time frame, she decided to punish him. That's what that is.
You know, and it's also like you've made jokes about having dated.
And I stopped months ago when you told me. I even asked her, said, does it make you uncomfortable? You're like, no, it's fine. You even said that on the podcast. You're like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. But I know
that's not true. He several times, and I again will show the clips, several times told her it made him uncomfortable, several times asked her, begged her to stop, and she didn't stop. She did, in fact, make these jokes, and a lot of them didn't even seem like jokes, and there is plenty of footage to show of this. She constantly did this. She constantly hit on him. She constantly made him uncomfortable. She made Jason and David both uncomfortable. So for her to be like, well, I stopped months ago when you told me to stop, that's not true. There's even videos of him saying, I asked you to stop, and you still haven't stopped. You won't stop. And She even bragged about why she wouldn't stop and how it was funny and she didn't care. So this is just like her rewriting history to act as if she stopped and was a bigger person and a better person because when he asked her to stop, she did, but he wouldn't. It's not true. It's not true. She never stopped. There was never a period of months where she didn't make the jokes. She made them all the time.
Stop talking about David.
He hates when I talk about vlog side members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't care. But looks alone, I give you an 8.
That's still really good.
8.5 maybe. Now that you're
That's
working out.
Hitting on
You're just
him.
saying that 'cause
God
you're in a good
damn
mood.
it. We already talked about this.
You can't say you're gonna have Jason's friends.
Why? Can I just say though, like honestly, that's goals. Like I would love to be in a polyamorous relationship with David.
You're so gross. You're so in love with David.
So are you?
You look so hot in that black hat, David.
He has been looking good lately. What?
No, it does. So I stopped, and I haven't made jokes probably since last year about it. There was not any recent jokes about it because I know it bothers you, even though you said it doesn't. So I stopped. It was.
Okay, the fact that she said last year and at the point of this video, it's February 5th. So what, she's saying like for a month she didn't make it? And that's not even true. Again, you guys, she constantly made them, like the whole entire relationship. But she's like reframing this as if she was a better person than that and stopped, and that's why he should have stopped.
Those are wrong. I mean,
And she's saying like, you said I could. Like, you said they didn't bother you. But I knew they bothered you, so I personally decided to stop for you because I personally knew they bothered you. Again, that's not true. He repeatedly said, Trisha, these bother me. He told her. She didn't just figure it out on her own. He said, Trisha, these bother me. Stop. And she didn't.
I just think it was a different relationship. We had such a different relationship. Like, but it's not fair that you guys can make videos and then you can go out by your guys' selves and make 3 jokes without me, but like I can't do a video without you guys, like in your guys' consent.
But I didn't make the joke. And I
told you. I even told you Saturday. I'm not even mad.
Those are two different things. She's basically equating like, oh, so you two can go out and make a joke, but I can't go and expose you guys. Like that's basically what she's saying. Like, oh, you two can't just go somewhere without me and make a joke, or you two can go somewhere without me and make a joke, but I can't sit by myself and expose the both of you while you're not there. That's not the same equivalency. That's a very poor example and a weak one.
At you, I'm kind of mad that you went along with it. I said I am. My issue was with David not respecting my wishes.
But then why call me a creep in the video? Why say that like I do all these horrible things? I
told you I was sorry.
And I'm like a bad dad. Like,
well,
this I think bothered Jason the most because her saying those things obviously is going to make his ex-wife be like, what's going on at that house for her to say that? Which jeopardizes his relationship with his children because now Trisha's going to have the mother of his children worry about what Jason's doing around his kids when she knows that it's not true. And she's saying like, I wasn't even mad at you. I was really mad at David. But this whole video, we've seen him say, it wasn't even me, it was David. And the whole video, she's argued, no, it was you. You did contribute. You didn't stop it. But now what? We're like, 17 minutes in? And she's saying, well, it wasn't even you, it was David. Well, then why have the whole 17 minutes have you spent saying that it was him and he was to blame? She can't even get her story straight.
I mean, do you want to go into all this right here?
No, but you know I'm not a bad dad.
I didn't say you were a bad dad. I didn't say you were a bad dad at all.
You said I had my kids in a place.
Well, you're going to have to cut this out because this is not what I said. What I said was your ex-wife was okay letting you live in a place where you have a single guy that brings girls and guys passed out and all this stuff over, but not living with me. That's what I said. I didn't say you were a bad dad. I said, like, how is that? I was like, how is that okay to live with?
But then why? But why?
So, okay, let's talk about this comparison then. Because I know her stands are going to fall into this and be like, well, yeah, why did the ex-wife let him live with a young 20-something-year-old guy who brought one stands over, whatever? Okay, she's saying, and why was it a problem that you couldn't live with me, your girlfriend? At surface level, this seems like, oh yeah, what's the deal there? I'll tell you exactly what the deal is. The deal is the entire relationship was a train wreck. She was harmful verbally, mentally, and physically, which a lot of people forget, physically harmed Jason. She was unsafe. It was not a safe environment for the kids to be somewhere where someone is constantly unstable. It's unstable to the point, you guys, that when they broke up after this video, like during the final breakup, she drove to his house, the house where his children lived, by the way. Drove to his house. They could have been there. I don't know if they were, but they could have been because they lived there. Drove to his house, terrorized him there for 3 hours. He was held hostage in his house for 3 hours. He was trapped in there while she was throwing bricks through the window. She drove her car through his house. She chased him down when he fled. He fled because he was scared, and she chased him down in her car. And she's wondering why the mother of his children thought, I don't really want my children to be in a situation where they're living with Trisha or around Trisha. Like, gee, I wonder why.
Aside from the obvious that you see online and on frenemies, and it is like an ugly side of being manic in the manic episode, one you didn't see was the reason my boyfriend blocked me a year and a half ago, which ultimately was the best for both of us. I got on my birthday, demanded he talk to me, and when he said he wasn't going to see me on my birthday and go to sleep, I drove over to his house, super hot, crashed into his house, banged on all the doors, jumped into his pool naked, kicked and screamed through every window of the house. He got so scared after 3 hours, he left, and I chased him in my car to follow him.
I even bring that up, like that's
Because at that point you didn't care, and so neither did I.
it's just like an overreaction. Like just talk it out with us before you go and put it on the internet.
I've tried.
So, again, 2 things here. She said, you didn't care, so neither did I. He never said he didn't care. He just said, I'm too tired. Let's talk about this later. So, in her head, she's like, okay, so I can go do whatever I want to him now and make him pay because he didn't listen to me the minute I wanted him to listen to me. She also says, I tried to talk to you guys because he said it was such an overreaction. You could have just like talked to us. This again proves that she never wanted to out them. That was never the intention here. It was only the intention to punish them because all she wanted from them was an apology, and she never would have done it, which means that she never would have exposed the fact that Brandon was doing that as long as she was okay with them. As long as they were nice to her and good to her, she would have never exposed their friend. And I find that to be disgusting because if you actually cared about it, you would expose it no matter what.
I apologize. I do apologize for saying that personal stuff, and I've said this to you. Like, if I could go back, I wouldn't have even made the video.
Again, if she could go back, she wouldn't have even made the video. That tells you everything you need to know that she doesn't care about the Brandon situation. Because why would she be saying that if she actually cared? I want to stress this so much because I just feel like it gets overlooked so much that she didn't actually care about that situation. And to pretend now like she did, because even in front of me, she was bragging and she's like, yeah, I exposed them because their friend Brandon was doing that with the 17-year-old. But it's like, listen to her here saying that she regrets it, wishes she didn't even do it.
It's like not worth losing like
No,
you over
it's
it.
Not. Like, it's not worth the relationship we had. Just posting that video was like,
I know.
It's just too much. Like, we're sorry. Like, I can't speak for he's sorry, but like, I'm so sorry that like those jokes got in, but they didn't intend for them to get in.
Again, he is right though, because take the Brandon thing out of the equation because that was never what this was about. She never cared about that. The video itself was to punish Jason for not responding to her in the way that she wanted him to. So for him to say it was just too much, it was just too far, it was just a lot, that's accurate. Again, imagine you get in a fight with your significant other. Maybe like something minuscule, maybe a joke that upset them that you made, and now they're trying to turn the internet against you or turn your family and friends against you. That's what you have to look at this from, because that's what happened to him.
And they did, and I'm so sorry about my video and what happened, but I truly didn't intend for it to be like that serious. Like, I made it thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna talk about David, and I even told you that. I'm like, I said I wasn't even like really that upset with you. I was like more upset with David that he like let that in because I heard you say no to him from using the clip, and so I really was upset with him.
This is the first time that she's saying she heard him say no not to put the clip in. This whole entire video, she's been saying that he wasn't trying hard enough to tell David not to do it, or that he didn't tell David not to do it. Now she's saying, well, you did. So why then again did you spend the whole video saying that he was just as guilty? And she says, I didn't intend for the video to be that serious. Really? Then why do her sands act like that was her prime heroic moment of outing Brandon. She's saying she didn't even intend for that. She only intended to talk about David. She just kind of threw that in to really drive the point home that the vlog squad is bad. Again, you guys, she did it to the video itself. She did the video itself to punish them because they didn't behave the way in the way that she wanted them to. And she has admitted in the past that she does this to all of her ex-boyfriends. If someone doesn't respond the way that she wants them to, she uses public humiliation as punishment.
And so that's why I made it. But it's like, if I knew it was gonna cause like, because you've done these videos and it makes me upset, and I'm always like, okay, fine, it's okay, I'll still like still work it out. Like the ones about Tana and stuff like that, and I was like, it's okay.
I haven't had anything about Tana in my vlogs.
No, I'm saying this week, you know, I was like so upset, but I still was like, okay, I'm gonna just like get over it. And I thought like same thing. I was like, okay, we'll just get over this. You know what I mean?
But I don't ever put anything about Tana in my vlogs.
But you said it. You literally were like, there's that clip over and over of you just being like, David, I will buy you a Ferrari. You can get Tana to have. It's like
it's just a bit from months ago that after it was done, I was like, you cannot put that in. Like it was, we were just trying something.
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than like.
I mean, it's just a joke.
So, again, she's talking about a very specific clip now. This was a different one where he did say that. He said something like, Jason said, you can't ever tell Trisha, I'll buy you a Ferrari or something like that. It was like really over the top and stupid. I don't know personally if it was real or not. He's claiming that it was a bit, but I can completely understand why it would upset her and her think it was not a bit, because that video, I believe, was pretty incriminating. It did look real to me personally. It did look like he was trying to be like, I'll buy you a Ferrari if you do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know if it was a joke or not. But regardless, like I said before, she was making the same jokes, so I find it very hard to sympathize with a person reacting like this when they themselves did it themselves. And there was even video footage of her actively trying to sleep with Zayn behind Jason's back, but like for real. And she even said it wasn't a bit. She didn't even know the camera was on when she tried to get Zayn to go upstairs with her and do actual things with her.
Oh, so I hit on Zayn.
Trisha, do you guys just hear that?
What happened? What'd you do?
No, we weren't dating yet.
Trisha, what's up?
Well, I swear, no, his camera, David does this thing, it's like when I said tell him we're dating, he does this thing where he just literally has his camera like chilling by him and he's like looking at his phone, like literally not paying attention. So I literally didn't think he was paying attention, and then Zayn had to be like, did you guys hear that? I'm like, oh, nope, you weren't paying attention, you didn't get, and then it was, yeah.
So for her to be this upset over Jason doing that when she literally tried to sleep with his friend and then tried to tell him like, Jason, we weren't even together at that time. It's not that big of a deal. They were together. She even argued before when he did something. She's like, we were together during that time. But then when she did something, she's like, we weren't even together, Jason. So I can't sympathize with it personally.
Joke, like it's just not true. None of it. Like I'm not interested in that at all. I mean, you know that.
Yeah, but it's a joke that other people don't know. Everyone thinks everything in David's vlogs is real.
That's fair.
And it's like, I look like this person who's like, Jason's the best thing that ever happened to me. He's so loyal. And then meanwhile, people are like, yeah, he's a bag, like trying to get Tana to have with him and stuff. It's like, oh, so I hit on Zayn.
Trisha, do you guys just hear that?
Bye, Jason.
It just didn't look right. And
There's
just.
So she always has said this about the relationship, that she cares more about public perception than the relationship itself. She has always said, like, I don't really care what you do or what happens or what you say, but I don't like that the public thinks this way about me, which I find personally to be strange. Why do you care so much about public perception and not your own relationship and what's going on in it? Like, she even said one time, which I always thought was weird, she was like, I wouldn't even care if you cheated on me. It's just the fact that, like, if people knew that you cheated on me, that is what would bother me. It's like a weird mentality that she has. She cares too much about the internet and the internet's comments. Like, she even said, like, she bases like the relationship around like what the internet's saying about her. That's kind of like when you see in our Moses series where she is like, the comments are saying you're not that into me or you're not whatever. She cares a lot. Like, if her partners aren't convincing the internet that they like her, then she's upset. They don't have to convince her privately. Nothing in private matters. It matters publicly.
Like I can't, like, you know, I have like problems. Like it's not even anything. Like I couldn't even do it if I wanted to. It's just not that way.
I know, but it just was like, you obviously didn't care. Like, it just felt like like nobody treats it as a real relationship. Like, don't even bring up him or any of his relationships or any.
Again, she's talking about like nobody even treats this like a real relationship, like between Jason and Trisha. I don't think that's true. I feel like the Vlog Squad always respected it. Even David himself respected it. Sure, he made jokes and messed around, but the majority of the series, of the Jason Nash series, David was like constantly like Trisha's like confidant and supporter, and always tried to stop them from fighting, and a lot of the times didn't record their fights and told them to stop fighting because he was uncomfortable. So I don't believe this narrative here. Also, Jason talking about his issues. They had a issue in the relationship where he didn't give her, or he didn't sleep with her as much as she wanted him to. It was a situation too where she would like threaten him, like, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gonna go sleep with someone else, like things like that. Which, by the way, is that okay? Is that okay that she was doing that? She's so upset about this joke, but she was doing this to him. Like, I remember one time he was like, "Oh, I have to go. Like, I have my kids tonight. I can't stay with you." And she's like, "Then I'll just get someone else to sleep with me. If you're not gonna do it, like, if you're not gonna do it, I'm just gonna get someone else to sleep with me." Like, that's not okay. Imagine a guy saying that to a girl. Imagine if he was saying that to her, like, "Oh, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gonna cheat on you." Then that's foul. But he's saying here, like, I had issues with intimacy, and obviously I'm not gonna go try to get with this young girl, or like I don't even want this young girl. I do believe that Jason didn't want Tana. I do believe he wanted her in the beginning before Trisha and him were together, because the lore is that Jason and Tana were vlogging together. They did a collab, and Jason on the date, it wasn't a real date. It was a vlog date. It was like a parody of a date, basically. But it was like they titled it as a date. But Jason on the date, he thought that the way Tana was looking at him, supposedly, he thought she was into him, and he tried to kiss her, and she swerved it, and she told him she wasn't interested, and he dropped it and he left it alone. But he did do that. He was initially interested in her. He did try to shoot his shot with her. I personally think it was gross because he's way too old for her. I believe she was like 19 at the time, 19 or 20, I think. Way too young for him. Even if she was 21, even if she was 22, like, it's just too young for him. He was like 44, 45. So yeah, I personally do think it was weird and gross, and he should stay in his own lane and stick to older women. But I don't think he was interested in her later. And I do think a large portion of why Jason was interested in Tana was because she had so much clout. And Jason did seem pretty clout hungry. Like, he did seem to want to be like in the inn and be famous and things like that. So, but I don't think he was just into Tana in general. Like, that he wanted her even when he was with Trisha. Jason seems like a pretty loyal boyfriend and partner. So I don't think he was into her like that.
Or any of his relationships or any other person in your guys' friend group's relationships. And I said, you can talk about our relationship all you want. I said, just please don't make this joke.
This isn't true either. Jason's friend group, she's saying like no one can talk about their relationships, not even David's relationship. That's not true. David and Liza had their relationship on the internet. And in fact, Jason would make jokes about David's relationship, and Trisha was the one who was like, "Jason, don't talk about his relationship like that," even though everyone else was laughing and doing it. And Jason was like, "What do you mean? He does it to us all the time." Trisha was the one like, "Don't do that." It wasn't everyone else being like, "No, Trisha, leave David alone." It was Trisha who said it. And it's not true that the Vlog Squad didn't show their relationships. Corinna and Todd had their entire relationship plastered on the Vlog Squad, like intimate moments, and they always had their fights shown. Kristen and Scott were another couple constantly shown on the Vlog Squad and in David's vlogs. Who else? Literally everyone. Carly and Bruce, Natalie and Todd. Literally everyone.
Okay.
And now everything up. I'm just like, I'm just
It's okay.
Now notice, again, two things here. She says, I effed everything up. So again, never cared about the Brandon thing. It wasn't about the Brandon thing. She's saying, I effed everything up. Like, I ruined my relationship with you. I ruined my friendship with the Vlog Squad. That's what she cares about. She didn't care about the Brandon thing. Also, notice too, Jason is here comforting her and consoling her, even though she tried to ruin his life and his friends' lives and his ex wife's life. He's comforting her. He still cares about her. He still wanted to make this work. He, like I said in the beginning of this video, he told David and he told his manager, I'm going to make this video with Trisha. My manager doesn't want me to, but I'm going to make this video with Trisha and I'm going to show the internet that I'm still on Trisha's side, essentially. And David's response was, I support you both, do it. That was David's response. That's what Trisha said. And Jason said, I believe. They both said it. So, again, David and Jason still cared about her. They were still on her side in spite of everything.
Okay.
Another thing is, she was quote unquote hurt. So, because she felt hurt, she hurt them in retaliation. And even after hurting them or trying to hurt them, well, she did hurt them, Jason still comforted her. Like, that's how selfless he is, that he's comforting her. The person that tried to hurt him and all his loved ones, he's comforting her. She later tried to act as if Jason abandoned her directly after the exposed video. That's not true either. They did this video together after the exposed video, and he continued to see her for, I believe it was weeks. I think it was weeks. He continued to see her for weeks after, and they had a more private relationship. He didn't abandon her. He didn't abandon her, like she said. The only time he stopped communicating with her was after he pulled away because she was becoming dangerous, and then she became more dangerous and physically drove her car through his house and threw bricks through his windows and chased him down the street and a bunch of, violent things. He didn't leave until it became unsafe, and after he left because it became too unsafe to stay, she proceeded to ruin his life and punish him for leaving. That's what everything that's followed this relationship has been. Her punishing him for leaving, which is what harmful people do when partners that they mistreated leave them. They can't control them anymore, so they try to control the way that others see them. And that's exactly what she did to him.
Well, to recap, I'm really sorry to Trisha. It was a mistake, a big mistake, and it won't happen again.
And I am sorry for putting out the video, but I'm mostly sorry to people in your private life that I put on blast. I'm sorry. I don't think those things. I don't want to make it worse by talking about it more, but I'm really
So this is a very important part too. She's sorry about the video, and she says she doesn't think the things that she actually said about the people in his life. So she's also referencing Brandon here. She's even saying, I don't want to make it worse by bringing it up, because she knows what topic got the most attention, which was the Brandon thing. And she's saying she doesn't want to bring it up to get more attention on it, but she's saying, I don't really think those things. So she's saying she doesn't really think that he's a pred. She doesn't really think that it's a bad thing. Because if she did, you guys, she would stand behind what she said and she would say, I meant every word and I still don't agree with it. But she's not doing that. Instead, she's saying, I'm sorry to those I hurt and I don't want to talk about it to draw more attention to it.
That's one thing, like I don't regret much, but I regret that, and I'm like really sorry about that.
Anyways, we're super sorry, and you know, Trisha's feelings got hurt, and that was like, you know, I should have stood up for her, but like none of those jokes, like they're just jokes.
But they're not to me.
Okay, it's the same thing where if you say you want to David,
but I told you they bothered me. You say there's stuff on you on the podcast saying it doesn't
bothers me,
and I stopped.
Okay, you guys, again, she's saying, but I told you it bothered me. You never told me it bothered you. That's not true. I'm gonna include the clips again. I don't care. He's told her several times, it bothers me, it bothers me, it bothers me. Stop doing it, stop doing it, stop doing it. For her to pretend as if he never said it is just gaslighting at this point. Because he told her several times, don't do it, stop, don't do it. And honestly, him saying, it's just a joke and you made the same jokes, I can completely understand his frustration because it's true. She made the same type of jokes. She did the same thing. Imagine you make a joke. No, imagine your friend makes a joke or your partner makes a joke and then you make a very similar one, the same type of theme, and then they vilify you for making it even though they made it. They make it all the time, but the few times or the one time you do it, they cry and they sob and they say you're the worst person ever. That would be frustrating. It would be frustrating if your partner made a joke like, hey, I want to sleep with one of your friends. And then you said, hey, I want to sleep with one of your friends. And then they just like completely lost it and turned you into a villain. And they were like, how dare you say that? How dare you hurt me like that?
Stop talking about David's.
He hates when I talk about vlog squad members.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? Of course I do.
I think anybody would.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't care.
I stopped months ago.
I stopped too.
But it was just this past week that they were in the vlogs.
But I didn't put them in the vlogs. It's not me.
So that's why I said David was a horrible person, not you.
There was a line of communication. This is.
Yes, but she's saying, I said David was a horrible human being, not you. That's not true. She did come at him. Even in this video, we watched her come at him and say, no, it was you too. You still did it. And again, she keeps saying, I haven't done it in months. Again, that's not true. All of this is lies.
Our relationship. But there was a line of communication that, like, we failed to get to David. And he's not in our relationship, so he doesn't know.
Just, you should say no. You know how it affected me. You know I was crying the day the vlog came out in your bathroom. Like, you should just be like, absolutely. That even.
She literally just said, like, what, 5-10 minutes ago that she did hear him say no at one point, and she's like, I wasn't even mad at you because I did hear you tell him no. But now she's like, you should have said no. So did he say it or did he not say it? Did he do good by standing up or did he not? Is he to blame or is he not? She keeps changing her opinion here.
When he called you, you said no, no, no. And then you're like, okay, like.
You said okay.
I didn't. And you know, I rolled over and I'm.
Okay, again, she even said that when David asked Jason, can I use it? She heard him say no, 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 repeatedly. But throughout this video, she says, you didn't say no. You didn't say no hard enough. But then again, in the same breath right here, she's saying that she did hear him say no. And then she says, oh, but then you said okay. Okay. If we're going to go there, then didn't she just say that like, what, 10 or 15 minutes ago? She said, I said you guys couldn't use it. And then I just ended up saying okay because you kept pressuring me. So she's saying that it was okay when she did it, but when Jason felt the same kind of pressure and just ended up saying okay, he was in the wrong. Because he earlier said, Trisha, you said no, 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 and then you just ended up saying okay. And she's like, yeah, I said okay because you guys are pressuring me so much. So if he was in the same predicament and he answered the same way, again, why is he to blame then? Because she's not to blame if she gave the okay. So why is Jason to blame if he gave the okay? They were both like quote unquote pressured into doing it.
I'm like, whatever. And you know, I didn't even know what the clip was because I didn't even see it. I didn't even know what the clip was. And had I known it was like that.
Okay, well, that's basically, I guess, all we have to say. I'm sorry. Sorry to Trisha. Sorry those jokes, like, really hurt her. Sorry that stuff appeared in the vlog. All I can say is, you know, I'm going to do better. I can't speak for anyone else. And I know that I'm going to do better. I'll do better. I'll be more sensitive about what gets in. Like, you know, I
So you could tell at this point that Jason still very much had an interest in continuing the relationship because he even says, like, going forward, I'm going to make sure that her feelings aren't hurt and I'm going to be way more careful. So these two clearly had an intention to stay together. I do know they ended up deleting this video, and she claims, like, I think she told Ethan, she claimed, like, oh, or maybe she told someone else, but she said, oh, we deleted the video and then he just stopped talking to me. That's not true. They were, again, secretly dating for weeks after this, but they did end up deleting the video. I think because of the backlash it got. I'm not entirely sure if anyone in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, or just comment below and let me know what the reason was, that if they ever said why they deleted it. But I do know they ended up deleting it, and I do know his manager didn't want him to do it.
It's just super hard because I didn't put them in. You know what I mean? Like it was like just a miscommunication to David of how much those jokes bothered you.
I mean, me taking off my clothes, I don't think it's a miscommunication where I'm like, this is not funny. Like, and I was pissed that day.
I got it. And again, I didn't make that joke that day. Like, I didn't. I just sat there. Like,
I know, but when Tana came over, we should have just left. When Tana's around, just leave because
right.
It's not Tana's fault. But David makes those jokes, and David was trying to get us into a room with your shirt off and making out with Tana. It's like all this stuff.
I knew none of that would happen.
I know, but to even have her come over is just like, that's why I pretended to sleep.
I just figured we'd get a different bit with.
Ooh, so this is interesting too. Trisha before was like, I wasn't even there. I was whatever. And Trista's like, no, you were there, but you were asleep. But Trisha just said, like, I was pretending to sleep. I heard everything. I knew everything. But then before she said, like, I wasn't even there. I didn't even know what you guys were doing. But now she's saying she heard everything. So she was there. She did hear it. She lied about that, which I guess that's the least of the lies. But it is interesting that she confessed that she actually did. It is interesting that she actually confessed that she did hear it.
With her. That's all I thought. I was like, oh, we'll make some other bit with her. Huh. I mean,
okay.
You're not giving me the benefit of the doubt at all.
No, I am, Jason. Like, this is just so hard. It's like,
I am sorry.
I know, and
I know
I'm
you're sorry too. I know.
So it's just so frustrating. I'm sorry.
I know. I know you're hurt, and I know you're hurt, and we're all hurt. We're all hurting.
I think if you guys at all think that Jason doesn't sound caring enough, or he sounds frustrated or fed up or whatever, I think anyone would be. I think it would be super hard to sit there and try to listen to someone cry and say, I was so hurt by this joke that you made, when they made several jokes themselves. I think it would feel like almost disgusting and hypocritical to sit next to someone and have to console them when they do it to you too. Like, that would just be so grating. I can only imagine. Like I said before, imagine your partner joking that they wanted to sleep with your friend, and then you made the joke that you wanted to sleep with their friend, and then you ended up having to apologize to your partner because they were crying about what you said, even though they just said it to you. Imagine how you would feel having to sit there and console them while they sobbed about it, even though they just did it to you.
It sucks. And I'm sorry your feelings got hurt. I really am. If I could take back those jokes, I would have. They just got in, and I wasn't caring about your feelings. I was careless. Sorry.
I'm sorry too. I'm sorry I made that video. I don't know what the solution is.
Again, she's saying she's sorry she made the video, so again, she never cared about the Brandon situation. I'm gonna keep saying this because it needs to be said. Because even on Friday, she was like, yeah, I wasn't kicked out of the vlog squad. I left the vlog squad voluntarily when I exposed their friend, and I don't regret it. So that's not the story. That's not what actually happened. You can see it here that was not the vibe. That was not the narrative. She definitely wanted to be back in the group and back with them, and she said she regretted making the video and was sorry about it.
And I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for caring at all about us. And I hope you guys can understand, like, hope you can forgive me for hurting Trisha's feelings. And I hope that you can know that Trisha's sorry too. And that's it.
That's the thing too, is like imagine you're in a relationship and every time you mess up or do something to upset your partner, you not only have to apologize to them, but you have to apologize to the entire internet because your partner tried to turn the internet against you. Like imagine having to make that apology every time. Like not just sorry to your partner, but no, I now have to apologize to the internet and make them believe I'm sorry too.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow with a Smash or Pass video that Trisha and I are gonna do.
Oh my god, that's like the worst reference you can make right now. We're gonna video on who you want to smash.
No, who you want to smash?
Okay. Jesus.
Just jokes.
I think it was the point though. She's like, oh, that's the worst joke to make right now because like of what just happened. But that was literally why he made it. Like that's what he's doing. He's like making light of the situation and be like okay, it might not be funny in the moment, but like the humor of it is we just had this half an hour long video about this joke about sleeping with someone else. So tomorrow we'll be doing a smash or pass. Like it's just a joke.
That was funny.
Was it?
I think.
Or was it not?
I don't know.
Well, you tell me. How insensitive of Jason to make a Smash or Pass joke during this video.
I don't think you're a creep.
Thank you. It's also really hard because it's like
She changes that narrative again, by the way, when they break up. She not only tries to paint him as a creep, but she even tries to go as far as to say, oh, and then Jason was collaborating with JoJo, who was only 16 at the time. He was so weird for it. And the truth was literally that 30-year-old Trisha was collaborating with JoJo and dressing up as her and cosplaying as her. And Jason was only there at the house to pick up Trisha from her collab. And the only time that Jason was with JoJo any other time was when he brought his daughter, like his 10-year-old daughter, to go to a concert with JoJo because his daughter was a JoJo fan and JoJo's whole entire family was there. It was nothing like how she tried to paint it out to be. So she's saying here, like, I don't believe you're a creep, but she wants the whole internet now to believe that he is because she's not happy with him and she doesn't like him anymore.
you go for these jokes that are like Jason's old, like it's as much as it hurts, like it's funny. My body is shutting down.
I was like, the fat jokes you make though.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking.
Okay, again, she's acknowledging like, oh, I make the Jason jokes, like the old Jason jokes, but she's like, but you do it about me and fat jokes. That's not even true. He doesn't even make fat jokes about her. He never did. She made fat jokes about him constantly. She constantly told him how fat he was, how old he was, how he had wrinkles, how bad his face looked, how big his belly was. She did those things. Like she's now here trying to be like, yeah, but it's just like the fat jokes. You make fat jokes and I made old jokes, as if it's like comparable and as if it's like just something they do. You guys, the one time he said anything about her being fat, when he said we are fat, she made a whole entire expose video about him. So for her to be like, well, it's just like the fat jokes, that doesn't make any sense because there are no fat jokes because she said that there wasn't allowed to be. So if they aren't allowed to be, then why are you saying the old jokes are just like the fat jokes? Well, then you shouldn't be making them. If the fat jokes are so untouchable, then the old ones should be untouchable, right?
Talking about like other people who make jokes about me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, but if you don't tell people they bother you, then they just think it's just a joke. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of you know what I mean?
I know, but that's
like certain things bother me. Like people joking about me, like having a that had Adam. I mean, it does bother me. It doesn't.
I
bother
never
me.
make those jokes.
But it doesn't bother me to the extent of like.
It's not funny to me.
She keeps saying though that like, oh, but like you have to tell people they bother you so that they stop making them. Jason several times told her that the old jokes made him feel bad. He told her that the fat jokes that she made about him made him feel bad. He told her that the jokes about wanting to sleep with his friends made him feel bad. She never stopped any of it. She knew all of them hurt him and she continued to do them. So I don't know what this narrative is where she's like, well, you never said anything. He did several times.
Yeah, I know. I think too, like, we think of you as so strong and so unflappable so that, like...
Does this look like a strong face to you? I always am crying and upset about something.
Yeah, alone in your house.
Or on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah, making a video. But, like, you're so, like, I don't care.
I don't usually.
You are like that, which is good. Like, it's impressive. Like, you are so strong and like such a strong woman. I feel like strong person, and I feel like
I personally feel like this is a little bit of manipulative language. I feel like it's to kind of be like, but you're so strong and normally you're so cool about it. So like, we didn't even think you would care because like you don't normally. It kind of like gives her the incentive to not care because she wants to be so strong and cool. I personally think that, but I also feel like he's just trying to say like, well, we didn't think it really mattered because you're just like so no F's that we didn't think you would actually give an F.
in our minds, or I can only speak for myself, I don't want to speak for David, but like in my mind, I'm like, oh, she's so tough.
But the cheating thing is never. I told you, it's always the humiliation.
But that's your past of like having boyfriends that cheated on you.
I don't like the jokes in general.
Would you ever want to have a threesome? The three of us?
The three of us?
Yeah.
Gross.
Why is that gross?
Because it's gross.
Why? Because I'm gross? I wouldn't touch you. I would just, she would be in between us.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
Wait, no, you wouldn't want. All right, I mean that's
I'm
up to
down
you
for
guys.
everything always.
Whatever. Well, that was.
If you what?
But I mean, like, it's.
She said she doesn't like the jokes in general. And notice here, too, guys, that she's saying it's not really about Tana. It's about the cheating aspect. This is interesting because, one, she herself makes cheating jokes all the time, or did with him all the time. The second is that she's specifically saying here, it isn't about Tana. It's about you cheating. And after they broke up, she was saying it was specifically because it was about Tana. And he's just like an old man. And him being into her just creeped me out. That's what she later tried to say it was. But here she's saying, like, it was just the cheating aspect, which I believe because she was very insecure and she thought that he actually wanted Tana over her and would want her over her.
You can't. It's hard when you're like, you make jokes about cheating, but I can't.
I haven't in months.
Okay, but you have.
Again, see what I'm saying here? Jason's like so frustrated because he's like, it's hard because you're doing these things and then you're telling me that we can't do them, but you're doing them. And then Trisha's like, I haven't. And then he's like, but you have. And then she's like, well, not in months. And he's like, okay, but you still have. But, and again, it hasn't been months since she stopped. She did it for months. She never stopped for months, but she did make the jokes for months. So that's what I'm saying. I sympathize with him here because he's saying like, it's so hard, Trisha, because you're acting like this is just so out of line and just so like too much, but you've done it and you do it and you did it. So I don't understand how it can be this like dramatic and traumatic.
I have. And
Yeah,
then
but
you
like,
said it doesn't bother you.
we've
Like,
done
I'm like,
things about like Jason Momoa, you know, like on how is like.
I never made.
Again, Trisha keeps saying, you said it didn't bother you. That's not true, you guys. Several times, and I'm going to keep showing the clips. He said, this bothers me, stop it. This bothers me, stop it.
A vlog with Jason Momoa, be like going on a date with Jason Momoa. I tried to kiss him, but he pulled away.
That was
You know,
before
that's
I
so
knew
gross.
you, and that was
But
a
do you
bit.
say it's so? If you were to say I want to Upton so bad, I'd be like, oh, do it. Like I even said that in a vlog. I'm like, go ahead, go make out with her because it's never gonna happen.
Right.
So it's so different to be like, oh, we talk about you having every girl.
Well, this also isn't true because she's like, oh, it's so different because the jokes I make, I would never do. I could never do. But that's not true. Because Trisha's basically trying to say, like, it's okay if we make jokes about potentially sleeping or wanting to be with someone we can never be with, like a celebrity, like someone above like our league or who we'll never meet, whatever. And she's saying that it wasn't okay because Tana was actually someone he went on a date with and tried to kiss. But she made several jokes about like even wanting to sleep with ex-boyfriends who she's had and has access to. So even like with her ex-boyfriend Sean. So why is that okay? She's like making things up.
No, but like you've done it to Zayn, you've done it to David, so that's
Before
why
we
it's
were even
hard.
dating.
We were dating. There's literally video of you like, asking Vane to go in like the other room.
That's true. Again, that wasn't even a joke. Trisha said she had no idea that David's video was even on when she tried to get Zayn to sleep with her. And Jason just said, you literally have hit on Zayn and David. And Trisha's like, yeah, but that was before we were together. That's not true. The whole entire time they were together, she was hitting on David, as I've shown and I will show again. And the Zayn thing, she's like, we weren't even together. They were, because when they got into a prior fight, because he had like DM'd a girl and said something like, I miss you, Trisha was like, we were together. And Jason's like, Trisha, we weren't even like officially together at that time. And then she's just like, no, we were. Like, we were together at the time. And then, so during that same like time era frame, Trisha tried to sleep with Zane. And then when Jason said we were literally together, Trisha's like, no, we weren't. We weren't even together, babe. We weren't together. So why were they only together when he DM'd that girl, but when she tried to sleep with Zane, they weren't?
That was before we started dating.
No, we were dating.
We weren't in Hawaii yet. We just got those pineapple sunglasses to go to Hawaii, so we hadn't even been dating.
Oh, okay.
See, this is I'm gonna post a clip here because she said that they still were together and still were going to Hawaii and still doing things, and that's why he shouldn't have DM'd the girl. But now she's saying like it was okay because they hadn't even done that yet when she did it with Zane. Again, the same time frame, the same era. He DM'd a girl and said I miss you, and she tried to sleep with Zane, and she vilified him for the DM and said that they were together during the time, even though he said, Trisha, we weren't even together. We were together. But then when he says it, Trisha, we were together during that time. You said we were together. She's like, no, we weren't. We weren't even together at that time yet. Again, it's only okay when she does it. It's not okay when he does it.
This is our 1 year.
So it's convenient for you to say when.
Anniversary. Do you want to open these presents?
It's convenient for you to say we were dating, but when she goes.
Again, he's right. It's convenient for her to say, well, we weren't together when I did it, but we were together when you did it. That's not fair.
But when she goes, we've been dating for we've known each other for 2 years, and you haven't moved in with me yet. So you make it convenient when you want to make a point.
That's a whole other story if you want to talk about that. We live together. Combined, we pay over $20,000 in rent, and it's like
don't tell them that.
we literally are like at each other's house every night. He has to drive me back to get something, then he has to drive back to his house to get something, and then he has to go here. It's like it's so stupid. We're both paying $20,000 when it's like, and it's just like that's why I don't feel like this is a real relationship sometimes to you, because I'm like, oh my god, like you make these jokes as if we're like characters, and then we're not even living together.
So it's not a real relationship because they're not living together, even though she literally just made an exposed video on him. Why would he live with someone who could, at the drop of a dime, make an exposed video and try to ruin his whole life? Why would he live with someone who his kids have to also live with, and she's unpredictable, and she has physically harmed him before, and she's held him hostage before? Why would he want to expose his children to seeing that? Why?
And I'm like, maybe he doesn't care. Maybe this isn't a relationship to him.
Because every time I want to live with you, you do something that I'm like, I don't want this in my life.
It's something about you being like, I want to f someone else, or it's another relationship.
Again, that's perfectly fine too for Jason to say, you know, every time I think I want to live with you, you do something crazy and unstable, and then I like realize I can't. That's completely safe and fine to say because he has children. That's something she forgets. He can't be in this weird, like, she refers to it as passionate. She refers to it as like, oh, I don't want to change. I love being passionate. I love being crazy. He can't have that with 2 children who are also going to live with him, who are also going to be in the house all the time, or like a lot of the time. They're not on the same playing field. He can't bring his children into that mess. He needs to offer his children stability, and she's not offering him that. And notice how when he calls that out, she goes, yeah, but I'm that way because of you. She doesn't even take accountability. It's, yeah, I am that way, but only when you do things.
Relationship thing.
Oh my god. It's like literally that's your past where your boyfriend
It's
cheated
not.
on you that you're transferring on me.
No, other people have said if my boyfriend said he wanted to f somebody else, I would be pissed too.
Okay, and if my girlfriend said the same thing, I would be pissed too. We are in a business.
For sure, you can't say you're gonna have Jason's friends.
Why?
Of making jokes.
So again, she says like, I've heard people say that if my boyfriend said that. You guys, she, as I've shown you already, had said it several times that she wanted to sleep with so many people, all of them being his friends. All of them being his friends. So if she's saying like, they would be so pissed and that's just so out of bounds and so across the line, then why was it okay when she did it?
I told you it bothers me. You say it doesn't bother you. But
And I stopped. And I didn't.
Every time she says, you said it didn't bother you, I'm going to keep showing the clip where he was clearly bothered. I'm going to keep doing that.
Didn't put any of those jokes in my blog.
I know.
We just didn't communicate it with.
And if I can remember that, there's no way that a woman who claimed that she was obsessed with him and knew his every move and every thought and every feeling didn't know that. She knew that it bothered him.
David properly.
Okay, but that's the lie. That's the lie because I have on literally
Okay.
3 occasions that I can remember
Okay,
so
well,
vividly.
I didn't.
Okay, that's the lie. If we're gonna like mark down lies here, what about every lie I've pointed out in this video so far? There's several.
Yeah, you can't say no. You did say no to him. You did say no lots of times to him, and he still put that in. And he had a call to ask knowing it's wrong, and you're like, no, 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 no way.
Okay, again, you guys, she's changing the narrative here. Now she's saying, Jason, you did say no. You said no several times and he still did it. Because now she's trying to vilify David, so she has to like convince Jason that he's the bad one. But she already spent the whole video saying, well, you could have stopped him. You could have done more. But now she's saying, like, you couldn't even stop him. You said no and you couldn't even stop him. If that's true, then why did she throw Jason in the exposed video then? Why was she so mad? Why did she spend this whole like 34 minutes saying that he was also to blame if she truly believes that Jason said no and had no authority?
So we communicated it properly. It wasn't a miscommunication.
But it was a mistake, and we are sorry. So can we move on?
I want to move on. I've said this to you. I want to move on. And okay. I'm fine not. I said this too. I'm like, I'm obviously fine. I don't need to. I shouldn't have even been filming with you guys anyways. That's your thing. It's like, it's kind of when they say like you shouldn't work with like the person you're.
Okay, she said she wants to move on again, you guys, because she doesn't actually care about what she exposed Brandon for. She doesn't care about any of that. That's why she's saying, I want to move on. I want to be back with you. Like, I want to do this because she doesn't care. There's no mention of her caring about the Brandon situation in this at all. She only cares about herself and her relationship. Also, she's saying like, I should have never been filming with you guys in the first place. I should have just been separate. She's the one who insisted on being in every single video with them. And when they would leave her out, she would be so upset. She'd be so mad at them. There were so many times in the Jason series where if David left her out of a video, she raged. Like, she rage quit over life. And it seems like going forward, because she later says like, oh, that Jason kept me a secret and he didn't have me in any more vlogs, but we were like secretly seeing each other. It seems to be her idea, because she's the one right now saying, I shouldn't even be in the videos with you guys. Like, I should have never been in them. I shouldn't be in them. So it was her, but then she later says, like, it's them. They try to keep me out. They try to keep me a secret.
In a relationship with, like, I feel like that's it. Like, you guys have your own thing. And I don't care. Like I said to you, I don't care. Go out to colleges, hang around these young Instagram models. Like, Instagram models are at your house with, like, blankets. I don't care. Hey, Annie, I'm trying to tell you something.
Instagram models are at my...
She's being passive-aggressive here, too. She's saying, like, I don't even care. Go to these college parties. Go to these young girls. Have these young girls at your house in a blanket. That's very specific. Like, that's clearly a passive-aggressive dig to be like, yeah, and have these young girls around you in your house with blankets. Like, she knows what she's doing. And then she's trying to be like, honey, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm just trying to tell you, like, it's okay. She knows what she's doing. She's trying to paint this narrative that Jason wants that and Jason's doing that. And she's trying to act like, I'm okay with it. Like, it's fine that you're doing these things. That, like, it's kind of like, you know, go commit a crime. Go rob a bank. I don't really care. Like, if you hurt my feelings and like you hit me that one time, like, she's trying to like vilify him and pretend that she's not.
My house.
Oh, you know the ones with the blanket. They had your mom's blanket over you.
They were there once.
Okay,
and they're great. I mean, they're nice.
She said, I don't care, but she does, because she specifically mentioned it, and even said, the ones who had their blankets wrapped around, she cares, but she's saying, I don't even care, I don't even care, it's not even about that, but it is, and now he has to defend himself against this newest accusation.
So I'm like, I don't, my mother was there, we were like making wings, like, can you listen? But don't frame it like that, don't go on here and be like, Jason has Instagram models at his house.
When you go out to college parties, can I say that?
Go ahead.
Okay, when you go out to college parties, like, I don't care, it was like, you're like, okay, I won't go to college parties anymore, you told me that Saturday, and I was like, but I don't even care about that. Like, I do trust you.
Well, the thing is that part is true. She actually didn't care about it. She would go with him sometimes, and she didn't really care. And she would even joke like, hey, you should wear this to your college party, like whatever. But the thing is that later she tries to paint it as like, oh my God, Ethan. And then he would go to like college parties and he'd be so weird and be around like young girls all the time. So she acts like here, like she was supportive and didn't care. But then later she frames it as if like, oh my God, Ethan, it was so weird what he did and what he was into and what he was like.
It's not about a trust thing. It's like I've asked you guys repeatedly to not make this one joke that really deeply affects me, like really throws me off. And like, that's the one thing.
Again, she's painting this as if it's like some deep traumatic event, but it's not, because she made the same jokes to him. That's why I think he looks so annoyed every time she brings it up, and she's like, it really affected me, deeply affected me. I can completely understand why he looks annoyed, because all the footage that you've seen that I've included here about her making the same type of jokes, if not worse, Imagine knowing all of this, like having all that in your head, and then the person next to you is going, "You just would not stop making these traumatic jokes to me," but she made them to you.
I know, I trust you. I'm not, it's nothing about that. And you can.
And the difference is David made jokes about Tana. They rarely saw Tana. They maybe saw Tana like 3 or 4 times in the whole course of their relationship. Trisha made jokes about sleeping with David and Zayn, David specifically, who they saw every day, who they hung out with every day.
You can go and vlog everything, and it's like just.
Trisha would hit on David right in front of Jason. Imagine if Jason had done that with Tana.
Please don't make out with other girls and don't. That's it. That's all I've asked. That's like the only restrictions I've ever put on you.
Okay, that's fine, and I don't.
I know.
mean, like, but
well, that's what I'm saying.
Don't frame me like that.
I'm not. I'm sorry if that came across that way. I'm saying you guys hang out with all these young, pretty girls, and like it's not.
I don't hang out with them.
Well, your filming group does, and it's okay. They're. I mean, it's
but
not,
like literally, they've had so many parties. Like I don't even go. I'm with.
The problem is like she's saying it's okay, but she doesn't truly believe that. She doesn't like it that there's young, pretty girls around them. She doesn't like that. She feels threatened by that, and it bothers her. But Jason is right. He's not really like, he is there, so she's right. He is around, but it's not like he's like doing anything with these girls. Like I said before, he wouldn't even like interact with fans because of her.
You, how many nights have we like? They're having parties, and we're with each other. Like literally.
I said that before earlier because that's right. In the Jason Nash series, there were several times where David and the Vlog Squad wanted Jason to go out and be at these events, and Jason said no and chose to stay home with Trisha instead all the time because he didn't like going to them. He didn't want to be there. He always chose to hang out with Trisha instead because it was just not his scene. Every time he chose Trisha.
I didn't even go to Zane's party, his big party.
Well, you said
because I feel like I don't fit in.
You said you weren't invited because I asked him like, you were invited.
I was invited to David's house. Of course I was.
But
of course you were too. Yeah, but that was just like a dinner he had. That was like a certain number of
anyway,
slots.
And what I'm saying,
I love Zane. We love Zane. We love Zane.
No one cares.
I also think it's weird that she brought up the fact that like Jason wasn't invited to one of his friends' parties. I just feel like that was kind of like a dig. Like, well, you weren't invited. Like, he didn't even like you wouldn't have to invite you. Like, I just think that was kind of mean, and I don't think she needed to say that.
About that.
You can go to those things by yourself. I don't need to go with you. Like, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make you look bad.
He also had to like defend himself with that Zane thing because then he had to be like, "Oh, Jane, I don't really care. Like, she brought it up, but I promise I like wasn't talking about it. I don't care." Like, it's just don't. Why would she even say that? Like, it's like he confides in her like, "Oh, I wasn't invited," and then she turns out like, "You weren't even invited. Like, he didn't even want you there."
I'm saying like that. People always try and paint me as like really insecure. I'm actually very secure with our relationship. It's just like those things when like my.
That's not true. She is very insecure. Throughout the Jason Nash series, she got mad several times when Jason even spoke to Disneyland employees when they were at Disneyland. If he laughed at a Disneyland employee's joke, she accused him of wanting to be with that employee. So yes, she was in fact very insecure. She's trying to say like, I'm secure with our relationship. It's not even that. People try to paint me as insecure. It is insecurity. And there's nothing wrong with being insecure. Sometimes you can't control it, but for her to paint it like, well, let me take that back though. There's nothing wrong with being insecure, but there is something wrong with mistreating people because of your insecurities and trying to control people because of your insecurities.
My friends and family sees it, and I'm saying Jason's so wonderful. Like, I love him because he never cheats on me, which I tell everybody. And it's like, but those are showing people don't get that that's a vlog or a bit. It's like it looks disrespectful to me.
Sure, I get that.
Okay, but everything else.
Again, though, she's saying like, "Oh, I know how you are, Jason. I know how you are, but everyone else doesn't know how you are, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter that I know that you aren't that way. It matters that everyone else might think that you're that way." I think that's so strange. If you're in a relationship, because she's like before saying like, it doesn't even feel like a real relationship. Like, it doesn't even feel like you really like me, or like these things just make it feel not real. Well, to me, it would feel more not real that if you personally tell your partner like, this isn't what's going on, and they know that you wouldn't do that, but then they care more about how it looks to the internet. That feels more not real. Because why does she care more about what the internet says and thinks than he does?
Else, I don't care. Like, go hang out with whoever you want. I don't care.
This is so stupid. It's like not even.
But I'm saying, go. That's your job, and I'm okay. This was my solution to it. Is like, I don't need to be filming. Is what I'm saying. I don't need to be around you guys filming. Like, that's your job. That was your gig before I met you. Like, keep doing that, and I don't need to be. I told you too that I'm happy to just be with you and not even film.
No, she said that it's her solution to just not be in the videos. Remember this, because later she'll paint this and say, and then I got back with Jason, but he was keeping me a secret. He wouldn't put me in the vlogs anymore. He wouldn't put me in the videos anymore. I was just some secret of his. But you hear her saying that it's her. Here she says, this is my solution. But then when they go with that solution, she later uses it against them and says, oh, they try to keep me a secret. And again, she's saying, like, oh, I never cared. Like, I'm always just happy to be with you and not film. Not true. Every time he ever tried to not film her, she would be upset. Every time Jason or David chose to not film her or include her, she would rage out.
Like if it's like, I mean, I love filming with you, so it'd be really sad, but I'm just saying, like, I want to just be with you. Is that your car? I'm sorry, I'm like crazy and all, like, I don't know, I just go.
So not only does she say that she just wants to be with him, again, proving that she never cared about the Brandon situation because all she cares about is just getting back with Jason, she also says, I'm sorry, I'm crazy, I'm sorry, I even did the video. Again, doesn't care at all about the 17-year-old girl, doesn't care about that, only cares about her relationship, fixing it with Jason, and getting back with him. That's all she ever cared about.
But I'm not crazy.
Again, it's just like all a joke to her. The entire thing was always, even at the end there, you can see the way it cuts off. She's just like, she smiles and like makes a joke about how she's not crazy. She never cared about the Brandon situation. It was never about that. That's why it frustrates me when she pushes through with that narrative and tries to say, like, well, the vlog squad didn't kick me out. I left because I decided to expose their bad friend in the group. You can tell throughout this whole video, it was never about that. She clearly cared a lot about her friendships with them and her relationship with Jason, and she was only mad after they ended up not working out, because after this video they continued to see each other. They continued to privately see each other. She was no longer in his videos, but they were privately seeing each other, and then he ended up not seeing her anymore, and she flipped out and lost it. And she, like I said, drove to his house, drove her car through his house, and terrorized him, in her own words. I'll include that, terrorized him for hours. That's what she did. I just wanted to revisit this relationship and show the truth of what actually happened and the truth of this video and the behind the scenes, because the narrative that she was just so wronged and she was a hero for standing up against a wrong that she had to expose just was never true. It was never true. She always supported Brandon. She was there hanging out with Brandon and the minor. She didn't care at all about it. She was completely fine with it. Throughout this video, she even says she's sorry that she even said anything about it. She mentions no mention of even saying that it was still wrong. So I just had to point that out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Share your thoughts. Share anything that you thought I didn't mention that people should know, and I'll pin it. And just share how you feel about the situation in general. Let me know, did I change your mind? Did you see anything in this video that you didn't know before, and now that you're more informed, do you have a different opinion? Just let me know all the thoughts in the comments below. Or even if you watch this video and you still side with Trisha and you still think that she didn't do anything wrong, let me know if you can explain, because none of her stands ever explained. Explain to me how you're still on her side, and explain to me how you reconcile the fact that she didn't really care about the Brandon and Minor situation. And let me know what you thought about, like, her making the same jokes that she was so upset against. I just need to know, like, the mentality behind her stands. Like, I need to know.